Welcome to ZSR, everybody. Welcome to TP Any Percent, and welcome to Wolfdash. We are here with another pool race, and we're here with the biggest mix of them all because we have an HD runner in the mix. This is going to be interesting. Without further ado, let's switch to the layout. Let's hand it off to our comms, to Globbers, and to Jack Wade. Take it away. All yours.
Hello, hello. I am Glubbers, and I'm here with Jacquade. Jacquade could say hello, but we're going to be your commentators. Jacquade, what are you excited for this run? This is going to be Twilight Princess Any Percent. Different Any Percents. We have 3 GameCube runners and 1 HD runner. Jacquade's going to be here to help out a lot with that HD commentary. What are you excited for?
Yeah, well, actually, I think we have 4 GameCube runners and 1 HD runner. It's just one of them's not on screen right now.
That is true.
So I'm assuming at some point we'll alternate between to see the 5th runner as well. But I'm definitely excited to see some route variety here. So we have 2 different GameCube routes that are being run, and while we don't have a Wii runner in this pool, we do have an HD runner, so we're going to see a good amount of variety.
Yeah, the HD run has actually seen... So the GameCube run, the Wii run, and the HD run have all seen quite a bit of differences in the past year or so. So regardless of which one we're watching, it's going to be very, very fun. Do you know if Bean is up to date on all of the tech that we're doing?
So last I checked, Bean is, he's been running the early Snoopy route, which is, not a super new route at this point, but it's basically the fastest route. The only thing he's not doing, as far as I'm aware, is Poe Gate Skip. So, he'll lose a couple minutes to that, but otherwise, it's the fastest route.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, that's great. It looks like we have all 5 of our runners appear to be here and ready. The first 4 that we have up on the layout here, we have Orcrist, Bean Seller on HD, Why Nots, Cactus, and then currently not on the restream, but will be later, we have Ethernet Boys. It appears that they are all ready from what I can see. Ether is still setting up just a little bit, but we will be off to the races here in just a moment. Yeah, so Twilight Princess has seen a lot of changes even within this year. Displacement clipping is on all SD versions of the game. I don't believe it's on the HD version of the game, and has changed quite a bit of it. Is that just like a collision box thing, or is it like...
yeah, I think
we
it
haven't
is.
figured out how.
I'm pretty sure it is. So, because we were never able to do Door of Time skip, and so we surmised that was because of the collision, and then we figured out later, I guess, that was really just a displacement clip, and so it kind of makes sense. It just doesn't work on HD, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate, because it has really changed the game for us quite a bit. And we'll see that here in just whenever this gets kicked off. Now, that said, we're going to see some very interesting things today, I think. We have some different, not just HD being the only difference, we have some people running some different routes on the GameCube versions too. Going down the list, Orcrist is running Gorge Pillar Clip, at least historically has been, which is going to be more in line with what you would expect if you've seen runs of Wolfdash's prior, things like that, where that's kind of what you would expect. Now that said, Ethernet does the same thing. Cactus and Why Nots are both doing ELH route, which is the optimal route, and they are both doing it on French, which is not optimal, which is interesting. But it will give them some advantages down the road. Now, ELH is the most recent route that was found in, I believe, during Wolfdash 4? Do you remember it all, Jack?
I think it was pretty much right before or shortly before Wolfdash 4, but I know people were running ELH route, and that's what I learned to do Wolfdash 4 last time, so it was definitely before the tournament.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because that adds up timeline-wise. So yeah, people are a lot more experienced on the route. We're not going to see quite as much of people getting used to what they're doing. We're going to see quite a bit higher skill gameplay as people have had a couple of years to get used to the general route structure of ELH. Cactus letting us know that the reason they are running on French is because they don't want to collect rupees. This is going to make it very difficult to do rupee roll, but that is a good way to put it. Because you know what? Fair enough. The French version doesn't have to collect 300 rupees for fire. We'll get back over this when we actually get there and it becomes relevant again. But fire, for some reason, doesn't actually check the amount of rupees that you have and just takes what you have when you're playing on the French version. So you don't actually need 300 to repair the cannon, which was a very neat little thing that made us think that French was the fastest version for a while until timing done a couple of months back by Demon actually pointed out that French is still slow.
Yeah, how much slower is it? Do we know?
Like 2 seconds.
Okay, so it's very close. Yeah, that's one of the things with this game. Is like language differences basically don't matter, even for French, where it's like you have like an actual gameplay difference. But because of all the fast text in general, like the language differences are like seconds. It's just not a big deal.
Yeah, there's if anything, French was quite a bit slower before having the French fire discount, as we call it. If anything, all that discount did was line everything up even more, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can pick whatever language you want, and it looks like we are ready. We're getting ready with our minus 20-second countdown here. So the runners will be starting when that timer hits 0. Are you ready, Jaquade?
I'm ready.
All right, cool, because we will be starting in 3, 2, 1, go. I saw some people go a little bit earlier than I thought. That's called a slight desync. It's totally fine. Now,
somebody's clearly cheating, blowers. Come on.
So, yeah, they're cheating. They're getting that extra single second in a 3-hour run.
Yeah.
So you're going to see a lot of the GameCube runners. If you're familiar with Twilight Princess, you'll already know this. I'm going to go over it pretty quickly. The actual beginning of the run is very glitch-heavy. They're going to all pick up this rock, clip through a gate, and perform a thing called Back in Time, where they're going to be playing on the title screen, saving that title screen file to File 1, which puts us into Farron. And there's quite a few consequences of that, and that's generally how the early game ends up going. Now, that said, the HD version is quite a bit different. Jaquade, what's the HD version's beginning like?
Yeah, so because of collision differences with either the gate or Link or something like that, we're not able to clip through the gate with the rock, and then of course we can't do Back in Time because it got patched like 3 different ways, and so we actually just go save Tallow. That was a very good gate clip.
That was a very fast gate clip.
Super fast, using Epona to clip through. And so he's just going to roll over to Tallow, and then once he gets over there later, we can talk about Boko pushing, which is what he's going to have to do.
Yeah, Boko pushing is interesting. It's done on the SD version as well in no save and quit speedruns, but it's what HD speedruns just have to do. And it does speed up the intro quite a bit. So something that's true in all of the runners' cases right now is that the state of North Farron is in its base state where Tallow can be saved from the cage that he's stuck in with Rose the monkey. So all of our GameCube runners have saved their Back in Time file, which gives them fake heroes clothes, a fake Orden sword, and a fake Hylian shield. If they were to pause their game, you would see none of these in their inventory, but they're apparently wearing them and are actually able to use them. Now that said, a number of those things will be remedied some bit down the road. The Hylian shield will always be fake and always be there, though. We are getting about our own separate ways of getting up to North Farron to save Tallow. The GameCube runners have that Orden sword to be able to break the cage, where on HD we're going to have to do a thing called Boko pushing, which Jaquade will explain when we get there. Now, something pretty notable is that if you pay attention to where people are at, Bean Seller's not actually that far behind, just from what the GameCube runners had saved their Back in Time file and got this equipment, but Bean's in the same load area as them. It's interesting to see the comparison of how well-paced HD is to GameCube in terms of the structure.
Right, so yeah, it looks like he's basically on pace, but by not being able to do Back in Time, as you're going to see later, he's actually lost several minutes just because of the version differences. So, you know, because, first of all, because he doesn't have a sword, so we're going to have to do several things to get around that. notably doing Boko pushing and then later getting the sword and Ordon later. And then also, we're not going to be able to get Iron Boots early on HD, which you'll see the GameCube runners doing pretty shortly after saving Tallow.
Yep, that's exactly the case. So we're getting into this first bit of saving Tallow from all of the GameCube runners here. Looks like Wynots is in the lead so far by just a little bit. Cactus and Orcrist not far behind them. Now, they're going to all attempt to jump attack into a cutscene here. Yep. And Orcrist is the third one to do so. Now, Bean Seller does not have a sword to do that. Now, is it fast to just roll into it, or... Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, I mean, what would the alternative be? Side hopping?
Yeah, like timing and then doing a quick side hop, exactly.
Yeah, I have not seen anybody do a side hop. But, anyways... Ooh. Sorry, go ahead.
Orcrist got an instant break. How does
Very cool.
this work?
Okay, so we don't have a sword on HD, so what Bean's going to have to do is actually have the Bokos break the cage. And then he's going to have to kill the Bokos, but again, without a sword. And so the only way to do that, other than just hoping and praying that the Bokos just randomly drown in the ground, is to, which can't happen, by the way, is to push them all the way over to Trill, and then, which is the bird, and then Trill will kill the Bokos, which takes a little while, but so we kind of have to just push the Bokos all the way across the map.
Mm-hmm. Now, the other thing that they need to do is they need to specifically not kill that Boko that is attempting to attack Link right now. Is that correct?
I don't remember the details on that, honestly.
Yeah, I believe if you kill that Boko, then Trill will not attempt to attack the other Bokos, and that is, of course, a very big problem. Now that said, that's not exactly a hard thing to avoid. You just need to not get the Boko that you're targeting incorrect somehow. Ooh, 21 goats from Orcrist. Very nicely done. That's putting him right back in line with Cactus Melon, where Wynots is a little bit behind due to an unfortunate goats. And Bean is pushing this second Boko here. You think we're going to see any Boko drowning in this tournament?
No. There's only 2 of us running HD, and it's extremely rare for the Boko to drown. Like, we don't really know what causes it. Sometimes they just, like... they literally are, like, in the ground, and they do the drowning animation. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. But you have to put it towards kind of the stump over there. It needs to go out of the way to even attempt, so it's not like something you can go for without going out of your way. Bean finishing up his own version of saving Tallow, and onto the goats, where our GameCube runners are going to be, due to the implications of Back in Time, there is some awkward flags in different states. Currently, we have the Epona tamed flag, appended to our file. That's due to saving the Back in Time file, which manually assigns that flag. Normally, it's put on after you beat after you beat King Bulblin, and so you can go back to Orden prior to Goron Mines, and then get the Iron Boots to go in there. Because that flag is appended to our file manually, we just kind of have it available at all times. So you'll see the different runners are all slapping bow. This is a game of rock, paper, scissors, basically, and all of them are through their first phase, it looks like. Let's see how the second phase goes.
Rock, paper, scissors, or Rochambeau, if you will.
Rochambeau is a good one. Wait, hold on. How have I never heard that one before? Cactus getting a 736 boots. Orcrist not far behind with a 740 boots. And Wynots is getting some fun RNG.
Yeah, so once again, it's actually going to look briefly like Bean is actually ahead, but he's not, because again, because we don't have back in time on HD, he's going to have to do a bunch of stuff later that the GameCube runners aren't going to have to do. But again, interesting that, it kind of lines up right now.
Yeah, and it does that a decent bit, right? I know that it ends up being slower overall, and we'll start to see that slowly become apparent as we go through our run today, but I find that very interesting that the routing structure of HD is such that you end up pacing things similarly.
Yeah, even with like entering Forest Temple, it will probably be at relatively similar times. Just because the GameCube runners have to go get Master Sword in the interim.
Speaking of those GameCube runners getting their Master Swords, they are now all wolves. We will not see them. Well, Wynots is on his way to become a wolf. Uh, we will not see them as human until they all get the Master Sword, which will be within the next 15 minutes, accounting for maybe some issues with Sword and Shield skip. All of our runners are in the sewers sequence, which is a relatively standardized sequence. It's a lot of fun movement, but relatively boring overall, for lack of a better way to put it. Box break is about the only thing that happens other than, like, Midna TD for a half second, the falling rock tech skip for I don't know how many seconds, things like that. But after that, the GameCube runners will be doing a trick called Sword and Shield Skip, because the sword and shield on their back are fake. Another consequence of appending the back in time file to file 1 is that your fake sword and shield also have Orden in a state where you cannot get the sword and shield. So that is nearly a soft lock. There is one pick to that soft lock, and we will do that. That is a trick called Sword and Shield Skip, where we're going to be playing a game of Leapfrog with our friend Hugo. We'll see that after this sequence. Jaquaid, is there anything interesting about this sequence for HD to write home about?
Not particularly. I mean, in HD, we just have to go actually get the sword and shield rather than doing the skip, which is not quite as cool, but, people who play the game casually might enjoy seeing it normal.
Yeah, and actually going through the Orden sequence, getting the sword and shield is, while maybe not quite as flashy as sword and shield skip, performing it is actually very cool to see. It's got some neat micro-optimizations that you see about, like, the routing and everything, so that will itself be a treat.
That's true, definitely. There's a couple things that are like kind of difficult optimizations that I'm suspecting Bean won't go for. Like, for example, you can skip a Midna text trigger for like the Midna jump, but I suspect that Bean is going to probably not do that.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. You're talking about the one on Desera's shop, right?
Yeah, it's fairly precise, or at least it's difficult to do quickly.
Mm-hmm. That was my impression of that from what I know about running Hundo as well, is that it's not the hardest thing, but it is hard to do quickly. Now that said, there is another thing that we're seeing. The GameCube runners are trying to do what we call one frames, which is that for most Midna text boxes, when you call Midna to a point pressing Z, you will have Midna say, "Oh hey, you want to go over here?" When you do a Midna jump, there will actually be a single frame to get those jumps. Now, Bean actually had perfect consistency with that. Why is that, Jaquaid?
He's just that good, definitely. So on HD, we can do this thing called input buffering, which is basically just when we're coming out of cutscenes or loading zones. For the most part, if you just hold a button on the first frame that you get control of Link, it'll just do that input on the first frame. So all of these first framers are really just free for HD.
Mm-hmm. Which would make something like early Master Sword actually very cool for HD, which is unfortunately not possible, because then things like Gorge Void would itself be free.
Yes.
So we're seeing Bean go into Orden here, and we're starting to have our first of our GameCube runners wrap up the sewers sequence. They appear to be a little bit behind, but you're going to see that Bean is going into Orden and getting a sword and a shield, whereas the first one we'll see here is Cactus, but the other's not far behind. We are going to be dragging our friend Hugo along. Hugo is a Bulblin who is very particular. And basically, like I said, we're going to try to play Leapfrog. We're going to do a thing called an LJA. It's actually our first instance of an LJA in the run overall. This is specifically an enemy LJA. Normally we'll see it a lot more throughout the run with a boomerang, but off of Hugo, basically, we're going to hit him once, launch him into the air, and with a relatively precise but not super specific position, we're going to jump over him, using him as Leapfrog, and if we get good speed off of the LJA and are positioned properly, we will jump over a ground trigger where Midna tries to tell us to go and get the Sword and Shield, thereby skipping the Sword and Shield, into an air trigger, which will activate before we touch that ground trigger for Midna telling us to go back and letting us into Farron. Cactus setting it up here. That looks good. Ooh.
Oh, a little short.
Very, very normal. This is a very hard trick. While most runs for PBs will always get it first try, that's just because it's a pretty normal thing to reset at. It's early enough that losing that much time isn't usually worth it. Doing a no reset, it's more rare to get it first try, but why not getting it first try? Let's go. And Orcrist setting it up himself. Let's see if Hugo wants to be polite. Orcrist also in. Very nice.
See if Cactus can get it the second time. Do you know if anybody... Does anybody know, like, why Hugo was named Hugo, by the way?
That is a great question, and also leads me to the thing that I really should have opened up before coming into this race, which is our little guy spreadsheet. Let me pull that up.
Yeah, like, all these guys have names, or at least all the important enemies, but sometimes I want to know, like, what's the story behind Hugo? Like, why is he Hugo?
Okay, do we have any notes? We do not have any notes here. I'll send this to you as well, Jaquid. But this is the TP little guy spreadsheet, which is all of the names of our little guys here. Now, there is no note on the actual why for Hugo. Now, we do know that Hugo was named on the 25th of June 2012 by the runner named Surreal.
So Cactus, unfortunately, having a little bit of trouble with Sword and Shield skip. Hopefully we'll get it this time.
Yeah, this is a very rough sequence to do. As I said, it's very difficult to do in just any no reset. There is a lot of room for error that it is not surprising to get it third, even fourth try. Now, as many runners getting first try as they did is fantastic. Ethernet did also get it first try. Ethernet not being ahead of anyone else here because of, unfortunately, quite a bit of bow RNG happening. Just a little bit of an update for the runner not on the screen that you guys have there, as there is, in fact, a fifth runner in this tournament, or in this race currently. Now, all of our GameCube runners, Cactus, once he gets in, that looks good. Still a little bit late, unfortunately. These positions are looking good, just a little bit late on that last jump. Now, totally okay, as I said before. Our other runners, however, are going on to their next trick. Why Not's coming in first here to EMS. Here's Jamal, who's going to help us do a super jump onto this ledge and attempt to... Oh, that's a bad swing. This is a little bit of RNG. There are good swings and bad swings. And Why Not's getting bad RNG, 3 bad swings in a row. This may give Orcus the chance to get the lead. Orcus getting first try. And that is Orcus taking the lead over Why Nots. And that is how Jamal can be. 3 bad swings in a row can cause that sort of thing to happen. So Orcus is now in Sacred Grove on his way to the Master Sword, where Why Nots is finally getting a good swing. Still good first good swing, at least that I saw. That's just the unfortunate reality of some EMS attempts is you just get bad RNG. Now, Bean is completing Fair and Twilight, which is done in quite a bit of a different way that I'm used to. Now, that's because of an HD change where instant tier collection happens, instead of having a buffer before you actually go into collect the tier, so it changes the routing a little bit. How much does that affect things overall, and what are the changes in HD for all of these Twilights, Jaquaid?
Yeah, so, I mean, being able to collect the tiers instantly is very nice. It saves a lot of time and makes things quite a bit smoother. The thing that saves the most time in the Twilights is just that they reduced the number of tiers. Sometimes those will be bugs that were just in groups before, but it definitely makes things a lot more consistent, and, you know, sometimes we just don't have to go nearly as far out of the way to just get, like, one bug or something. So it saves a little time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is, like you said, just also some changes to the bugs that are present. I think we'll most notably see that in Lanayru, especially for not just the one that's on the ledge in Zora's Domain, but more also just making the lily pad bugs easier. As well as here in this tree, there's 3 in the center of the tree trunk on SD, where here there's only 2, as well as those being ones that you absolutely do need to wait for the tier to be collectible on the SD version. Just collecting them immediately changes up how long you wait there quite a bit and how you actually approach it. That's very cool to see.
And it makes it much easier to hit this log cycle too, which is nice.
Oh, I believe that easily.
Yeah.
TGD bringing up a very good point here. There is a lot of game left to happen. Anything can happen. So even Cactus having a little bit of difficulty this early on with a very, very difficult trick. Getting in.
There we go.
Nice. Let's go. There is still room for anything to happen. It's anybody's game. It may look like something right now. That is not necessarily the case. Now, Orcrist is fighting Skull Kid, and frankly, at this point, I'm saying extraneous things because the Lost Woods theme likes to get collected on YouTube for copyright claims by people that don't own the game. So,
yeah, we just gotta
like,
talk
not Nintendo.
over and over. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
yeah.
we just don't shut up during this part. Jaquaid,
right,
do you have anything that you would like to say?
Yeah, I was gonna mention, so briefly, just to catch up a little bit on some of the HD differences. So, you know, we technically could do Sword and Shield skip, but just to explain a little bit more, the reason that we don't do it is because we do actually need a sword at some point. And so unlike, you know, on GameCube where you have a sword, and B, you're going to get the Master Sword, we also can't do early Master Sword on HD, which is why, among other things, Bean completed the Far on Twilight there, which the GameCube runners are not going to do.
Mm-hmm. Orcrist exiting into the... I don't know what area to call this, the Master Sword puzzle room, I guess?
Sure.
This is a very difficult puzzle. We will need to see each runner react to the RNG set given to them for what puzzle solution this could be. They have some very rough statistics here. They have a 1 in 1 chance to get this pattern, so they need to react to which of those 1 patterns they get and know how to solve accordingly. It's a very technically difficult thing. That
so shockingly, Orcrist and Why Nots both got the same RNG seed, which is very rare.
Whoa! There's like a 1 in 1 chance of that happening. That is impressive. Holy!
It's just excellent execution here, figuring out the solution on the fly.
I am astounded. Both of them actually figuring it out on the fly. Orcrist getting the Master Sword. Why Not getting the Master Sword. Beanseller pushing a monkey. This is some top tier gameplay right here. What is the pushing the monkey about? I actually do know. I just forget.
We're just trying to like reduce the number of cycles that the monkey swings her lantern around. Pretty much.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So unfortunately, this is another one of these things. So I don't remember the exact reason why. Something having to do with early Master Sword or something along the lines. You know, we have to actually go through the fog the normal way with having the monkeys very slowly swing the lantern around.
And lose all of your oil.
Yeah. Now, thankfully, we do get a bunch of rupees here, which is great so that we can totally pay Trill for lantern oil in a second here when we get oil back.
Yeah. So, yeah, wait, hold on. We're totally paying Trill, right? We're not ignoring Trill and robbing him, right?
Look, Link is a law-abiding citizen. I'm sure that he's going to pay for the lantern oil.
Oh, okay. Okay, I believe you. Now, Bean Seller, as your name has seller in it, I assume that you are some amount of a salesperson yourself. You are aware that currency is exchanged for goods and services, correct? That is how this works. You're not going to rob Trill the bird, correct? We will
We'll
see
see.
momentarily.
Hopefully he'll put at least 1 rupee into the box.
Cactus Melon going for EMS here. That was a quick swing there, so not the good one. Just needing to reset a little bit. Again, this is an RNG thing that was just not even an attempt that could actually have worked other than, I guess, task level. Because it is theoretically possible, I guess. I believe Simi's done quick swing, right? Was that accurate? Are you aware?
I think so, yes. I'm sorry, I was distracted by the fact that Bean was obviously being a criminal there.
Bean!
Very, very disappointing.
Bean! Alright, okay. I normally don't do this. Normally, I don't like calling out individual runners for mistakes that they make, but I am going to inform the authorities of Hyrule for Bean Seller's transgressions, and we will have penance for this. Now, that said, Orcris just dug through a hole, so that's pretty neat. Orcris and Wynauts having gotten the Master Sword. Cactus on their way to the Master Sword currently. That means that Orcris and Wynauts are going to Forest Temple, which is awesome, because Bean Seller is also going to Forest Temple to evade the authorities. Now, who will we see complete the Forest Temple first? Will it be Orcris on SD, maybe Wynauts or some other GameCube runner? Or will it be Bean Seller on the HD version?
I think that Bean will be the first to complete Forest Temple. And in fact, I think that the rest of the runners will never complete it.
That would be quite unfortunate, considering I just kind of said a thing. Don't you know that the runners are supposed to do what the commentators say? That's how this works, right? Not the other way around. With this being a tournament, how do things work with some runners on HD? Do they just have a major disadvantage? Yes. They basically are just taking a large time loss. Jaquaid, do you want to talk about the actual logistics behind why, other than it's fun?
Why to run HD other than it's fun?
Yeah.
I mean, the Twilights are shorter, which is definitely a plus. They're less annoying. There's still a lot of cool tricks. I think that the route is a little bit more consistent overall, and so I don't know. It's just a matter of taste, honestly.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool things about the HD version, and like there are some really cool tricks that you'll do. Like 3PCC is actually one of the new tricks that's very, very cool. That is not available on the GameCube version of the game, so we will not be seeing 3PCC from the GameCube runners, but we will from Bean. So things like uniqueness in text and how you approach the different areas is absolutely a reason. Now, also within this tournament, there are 2 brackets, and while the time deficit will most certainly put our 2 HD runners, Bean being one of them, the other one being Jaquaid in the call here, it's a fun tournament. We're having fun, and you know what? It's pretty competitive with the secondary bracket, so, that's awesome.
Yes.
We love it.
Speaking of, so again, just to recap how the tournament works, we're having these pools races, and so the top 2 from any given pool are going on to the main bracket. The third place is going to like a last chance race, and then the bottom 2, or however many for any given pool are going to be going to the redemption bracket. And it's actually a really nice format so that some newer runners or runners that are, playing suboptimal versions like HD, we can have the redemption bracket to be a little bit more competitive and have a bit more fun rather than just getting eliminated immediately.
Yeah. So it becomes a nice way to split it up and leave it so that we don't just have the top runners who decided to participate in the tournament, running through everything and everybody else being left to the wayside. Now that said, Orcrist is having a very fun time right now. So, yeah, Orcrist was in the lead, and we just had a thing called, Nancy. Yeah. So there's a spider that gets in your way, and you have to wait for Nancy, and Orcrist attempted to save a few seconds by skipping Nancy. This did not go well for him, and this has put Wynot's back into the lead. There's not by too much, though. They're only separated by a couple of seconds. This is actually a very close race between Orcrist and Wynot's currently. And looks like Bean is in the east wing, not attempting to do Woodpecker. Wait, you don't have... Never mind. And Cactus just getting the Master Sword. Actually, that's a reason on HD. You can't do Woodpecker. What the heck?
Well, okay, so you can get the janky-looking animation, you just don't get the sound effect, because there's no, what's it called? The sword clanking, or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Wynot's getting what appeared to be a 5-hop ook. Orcrist getting a 4-hop ook.
Yeah, this is another place where GameCube is saving time. So first of all, Bean, since we can't do back in time on HD, he could not get early boss flags, and so couldn't get the monkeys to spawn over the bridge. So he has to actually go all the way over to the west wing to do this trick called early boomerang, where we're going to see some funky stuff. He's going to be in the side of a bridge in just a second here.
Early boomerang is a classic glitch. This is, to at least our knowledge, the first glitch discovered in Twilight Princess, where you can just flip into the side of the bridge here, and without anything but just doing a jump attack midair, jump over and skip over, skipping most of the monkeys.
Yeah, that was you can discovered... do a little parkour here as well to finish it off.
Mm-hmm. Yep, this game came out in November of 2006, if I remember right. That was discovered in December of 2006.
Very cool. Bean will have to do 2 rounds of Ook rather than 1 because he only has the weak Ordon sword rather than the Master Sword. So he does only half as much damage.
This is true, so we're going to see Bean getting twice as much RNG here. Wow. Look at that RNG. Orcrist and Wynot's both exiting the Forest Temple as they both have their boomerang now. Now we're going to see our first example of a boomerang LJA. Now, the HD version and the GameCube version can both perform this, so we'll be seeing quite a bit from each of them. But Wynot's will be performing the first one of the race here, and this is going to be Forest Escape, where you line up in a relatively specific spot, aim in a relatively specific spot, and jump over the trigger that tells you, no, go beat the Forest Temple, so you don't have to beat the Forest Temple. And Orcrist is setting up the exact same thing. Both of them very nicely done.
This is a lot less complicated on GameCube than it would be on Wii, which they do have a version of Far and Escape now, but it's you'll have to just tune in to another race that has Wii runners so that you can see how beautiful that is.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm not commentating that because I don't know how that works. I know that it uses a displacement clip using an angled roll stab, which is an awkward statement to begin with, and that's just impressive to see. We do have Ethernet here on our restream now, and Ethernet is just a little bit behind them where Orcrist and Wynot's are entering Eldin. Ethernet is on his way to Fair and Escape, so only maybe 30-40 seconds behind.
Oh, here's a good question. If HD can do LJA, why do they beat the Forest? I guess the Forest Temple is the question here rather than Far and Twilight. So the Forest Temple, we have to beat it actually because we don't have Master Sword, so we can't do Rupee Roll. And so we actually need the bridge, and the trigger for the minute trigger to get the bridge in North Faron to warp it over to Kakariko Gorge doesn't spawn until you beat Forest Temple.
Mm-hmm. That is also the reason you do Fair and Twilight, right?
Yeah,
well,
well,
I guess you would need to be human as well.
Right. Yeah, I guess we can't be human in Fair and Twilight to be able to LJ out either. So.
Yeah, just go do Wolf Forest Temple. What are you talking about? All right,
yeah, I believe it is. Sorry, go ahead.
Why Not's got the Gorge of Void, and we're going to see if Orcrist gets it here too. Orcrist also getting it. We are 2 Gorge Voids into this run. Gorge Void is a single frame A-press that saves a minute over not doing the trick, and leads us into Rupee Roll, which is going to be using the fact that when you collect the Rupee text, it stops Link's momentum. We're going to stop on a fence. Why Not's doing a double target method on the fence that I've seen a couple of times in the past, to roll with the Rupee text over the fence, and now be able to perform some LJAs that get us over the wall. Doing a manual lineup of the angle. Why Not's getting to the other side, while Orcrist has that Rupee. They are very close together here. This is a very close race. Why Not's is going to be attempting to skip around the King Moblin 1 trigger, so there is going to... Oh, Orcrist falling. Very unfortunate. Why Not's is going to be attempting to skip around the King Bulblin 1 trigger, which is this invisible trigger. You can't just run straight into Kakariko Village. They have to instead run in this kind of awkward manner. It's not the hardest thing to do, but you kind of run around this invisible trigger that would put you into the King Bulblin 1 fight.
I would urge everybody to watch what Bean is doing right now, just because it's very entertaining. This is definitely the normal way to beat Diababa.
I love Ooklis. Let's pay attention to Ooklis, everybody. This is a very cool trick. You do see this also in all dungeon speedruns of the other versions of the game.
It also looks like Ethernet may have missed Gorge Void, unfortunately.
Yes, we are currently 2 for 4 Gorge Void and 1 for 4 Gorge Voidant, waiting for the 4th Gorge Void.
Alright, so Bean is gonna... So he brought 2 bombs into the second phase from the first phase, and then he's going to use them in a very specific manner to hit Diababa down twice. And I don't know when this was discovered. I'm pretty sure this is pretty old, but it's really cool looking tech.
Yeah, Ooklis is a very cool trick. It's one of my more favorite ones in the all dungeon speedrun, and as you know, it exists in the HD run too. It's just as cool. Now, Diababa has been defeated without Ook. That's fantastic. Why Not's still in the lead, and now a little bit more of one due to Orcrist falling during Rupee Roll. Why Not's had to go back through. This is a consequence of getting Gorge Void that we will also see Orcrist do here in a moment. Go back out the exit they came, again skip around the King Bulblin 1 trigger, and go activate that forced warp, which Ethernet got by failing Gorge Void. You have to go back to that one, as that is the trigger that assigns the flag for warping with the map. Map warping is required for an any percent speedrun unless that speedrun wants to finish Temple of Time, so that's why we do that one. We just want to beat Temple. We don't want to beat Temple of Time in an any percent speedrun when we don't have to. Ethernet appears to be slightly ahead because the routing is a little bit different when you fail Gorge Void. Now, not actually ahead, as there will be some backtracking on Ether's side, and Why Not's is going in the same direction as Ether. Now, this is where we're going to see some division in the routes that people are running. So, Ethernet is going to attempt Pillar Clip. Jaquaid, do you want to explain Pillar Clip? Because I've been talking for a while.
Yeah, so basically we swim over to a specific spot, and then we lower down right next to a pillar, and then we kind of swim up and use the pillar to clip out of bounds, and then, before running out of air, we're able to Iron Boots tap swim over into the loading zone. So we'll see if Ether can do it here. This looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done this in a while, but I think that's going to work.
Slightly awkward camera angle, but it looks like sliding out, so it should pop up. There it is.
There we go.
And then we're
so
swimming.
He's swimming. He's gonna Iron Boots tap swim over into the loading zone here.
Yeah, and that is one of the changes between, we call this Gorge Pillar Clip route versus Gorge ELH route. I believe Wynot's is running on ELH. Let me confirm that real quick.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
why not jumped in
Wynot's
as
is
Wolf?
doing
So.
ELH.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I could have paid attention to that instead of notes and known. Yeah, that's a good point. Now, Bean is doing everybody's favorite part. Roll to Eldin.
Yes, of course. And talk to the mailman as well. Our favorite NPC.
Mm-hmm. Now, I believe Orcrist will be doing the Pillar Clip route as well. Now, you may be wondering, why are we seeing multiple different routes on the SD version of the game as well? Well, Pillar Clip versus ELH is under 20 seconds of difference. It's very competitive to run on the Pillar Clip route versus the ELH route. It just appears quite a bit slower to start because you end up getting into Kakariko quite a bit later due to going to Lake Bed first. Now, this is where Gorge Void versus Gorge Voidant is an apparent difference. Orcrist appears to be behind Ether, but that is not necessarily the case. That is mainly due to Ether not getting Gorge Void where Orcrist did. And Wynot's has clipped out of bounds successfully. There doesn't need to be much more said about that, because frankly, you just kind of clip out of bounds. You do.
Bean unfortunately missing Gorge Void despite it being free because he pressed the wrong button. Press B instead of A. Very unfortunate.
Oh no. Why would he do that? It's almost like you don't want to do the trick.
That's right. You always have to hold ZL and B or whatever the buttons are in order to get the little hop instead of the actual Gorge Void, just to show off our consistency on the one framer.
Mm-hmm. Now here's an interesting question: why did Bean warp to South Farron?
He warped to South Farron because he doesn't want to warp the bridge just yet. Actually, he wants to go do half of Lanayru right now, kind of like what some of the other runners are doing. It's basically go get the Lanayru portal before warping the bridge. It's a little bit faster. I think it saves 30 seconds of running through Lanayru fields or something like that.
That makes a lot of sense. Orcrist getting a good pillar clip as well. Now in Lakebed Temple. Wynot's not going into Lakebed Temple yet. That is one of the major changes between the ELH route and the pillar clip route, is that Wynot's will be going and doing Lakebed all in one trip, where Orcrist and Ethernet, you saw grab Uku earlier. So we'll be going in and out. We are not done in Lakebed Temple quite yet for either Ether or Orcrist, but after Deku Toad is defeated and they grab the Claw Shot, they both will be just leaving, as Ether just did, collecting the Claw Shot from this mucus-covered chest.
It's very sanitary.
Yes. Now, Wynot's is the one who has not been into Lakebed yet of the SD runners, and did get Gorge Void, so after finishing up here at the top of Zora's domain, Wynot's will be warping to Kakariko to do Elden Twilight, and that is where Ethernet, kind of, and Orcrist, kind of, and Cactus will all line up together. Why Nots does currently appear to be in a decent lead, but remember, Orcrist and Why Nots aren't that far separated. Orcrist is just doing Lakebed Temple first. So there's going to be a more notable separation, when in reality they're quite a bit closer to one another. And Bean is not able to drown the Karg, so we're doing the fast Karg flight.
Yeah, we can do a little backflip on this hill to one cycle the Karg. It's very nice.
Yeah, it's actually like one of my more favorite tricks of the game, because you just backflip uphill a little bit, and then you can just jump attack right back on and immediately latch back on. How much does one trip Lakebed save? So overall, the ELH route versus Pillar Clip route, yet there's a lot more than just one trip Lakebed to go into it. But when all comes out in the wash, if my memory serves me, it's about 12 seconds difference.
I think Bean has put spoilers in the chat. Let's see what happens here.
Oh, I thought...
Oh, no!
Oh no.
Oh, I thought that Bean was just gonna, like, miss the out of bounds, not void like that.
Yeah,
Oh
that was
my.
an interesting one. Nicely done, Bean. TGD saying 18. We'll go with 18 seconds. Yep, 11 of the seconds saved are just on the zero cycle Decutode trick, which we will see when Why Nots gets to Lakebed if they're able to do that.
Bean did not go for Karg out of bounds. Instead, we're taking the more scenic, cinematic route.
So we got some falling rocks.
It doesn't save that much time to do the out of bounds. I think it's like 6 seconds or somewhere around there. So I suppose if you want to be extra consistent and you really like seeing this sequence, you can do this. So Why Nots is doing Elden Twilight now. And I think we need to say the obligatory thing where Elden Twilight is a very high skill ceiling segment, like we always do in commentary.
Elden Twilight is the for some reason objectively most fun of the Twilights. It seems that no one has a dissenting opinion to that, and if they do, let me know so I can have a conversation with them out back.
Yeah, nobody really likes Linear Twilight, I don't think.
I can name a couple of people that whenever I say this, they are
a
like,
couple
I
of
like
sickos.
Linear.
A couple of sickos, yeah.
Exactly. There are some people who really just want to see the world walk down Hyrule Field for over a minute. Again.
But Amja, I don't know if HD still crashes. I believe it probably would. But it's not something that we really get to test since we don't have early Master Sword.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Pokemon. If there were 3 Pokemon and people really didn't like Squirtle. Like, really.
I don't think that many people like Bulbasaur either, let's be honest.
Yeah, not many people like Bulbasaur either. This is kind of just a Charmander game. Bean and Ether both getting to the top of Squirtle's domain. They've got... Bean's going to get this portal here and then head to North Farron, is that correct? To warp the bridge at that point?
Yes, to finally go get the bridge and then go to Kakariko and do Elden Twilight, like some of our other runners are doing.
Yep, where Ether will see warp to South Farron to then go and actually do Rupee Roll. Orcrist not too far behind, having gotten Rupee Roll, but currently doing the card drowning that we were talking about a little bit ago, which we have seen successfully now. Nicely done.
Ethernet having a little bit of trouble with the Shadow Beast here.
Yeah, it looks like... Did one end up on the wrong side, or... Yeah, it looks like it.
It's a little confusing, yeah. I'm not sure what was going on there.
That happens sometimes. I've seen that before. Orcrist's out of bounds. No, I spoke too soon! No!
You jinxed it.
No!
Oh, and we're seeing one of the differences between GameCube and HD right here, which is that HD has capped fall damage at 1 heart, whereas GameCube, you can get a lot of damage from falling, so you can actually die from 3 hearts there.
Yeah, you can die from 3 hearts because Wolf takes double damage compared to Link, and if Link had Human Link, where Human Link would have taken 2 hearts of fall damage there, meaning the double damage Wolf Link takes is 4. So yeah, you just die.
Yeah.
Orcrist, are we going to see another attempt at getting out of bounds? Are we going to be a little bit obstinate about it? I would appreciate it if we are. We are! Okay. Bounds. Out.
There we go.
Wait, outintant. There we go. Wynots is finishing up the Elden Twilight here in Death Mountain Trail. Sorry, the Charmander Twilight here in Death Mountain Trail. On their way to collect the last couple of bugs, we have the one that's on the wall and the one whose name I can't say in good company. Now,
Has a name?
It does, and it is a cluster something bug.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that. You're right. It does have a name.
Now, the main reason being up here in Death Mountain Trail is to get this warp portal, right? Obviously, we need to also finish the Twilight, but the devs wouldn't have even put these bugs here if we weren't needing to get the warp portal to begin with.
Yeah, that's actually, I think, why they put 1 bug specifically in Castletown, which we'll see later. Just, you know, this is why nobody likes the Squirtle Twilight, is because you have to spend several minutes running over to 1 bug.
Exactly. It's quite a nuisance, but, you know, game design is going to game design. They had to get us those at some point. We're seeing the instant tier collection, which always looks really nice on HD on those basement bugs. I love that. Ether doing a backflip setup for... I've just never seen this before. I've never seen Rupee Roll done like that. I'm gonna be so for real. It worked!
Yeah, there's a bunch of ways to do a lot of these tricks.
Ah.
So, definitely seen
I
some...
like commentating these things. You get to see some neat stuff.
Yep. Speaking of, Bean doesn't have to go get the other bug, and so we actually see a little bit of different torch movement here, where you don't want to... you want the bug to land up on the ledge rather than on the ground like you would on GameCube.
Mm-hmm. We're nearly an hour into our run here, and our runners are all performing relatively well. This has been a very good race so far, so big props to all of them so far. Now, Wynots is the one who is in the lead. Wynots is not a gamer, however, not getting that side hop. Oh my goodness. Never mind. Orcrist is going to do Elden Twilight here. How's it going, Orcrist? What are you going to do? You're going to talk to this spirit here? Yeah, I'm just not going to pay attention to Wynots just because they are not a gamer. So yeah, you can see here that, like I said, Orcrist and Ethernet are both, like, there was the apparent position that Ether was in the lead, but because of having to do Rupee Roll, because of the failed Gorge Void earlier, Orcrist is the one who is actually in the lead of the two of them, where Wynots is ahead by a decent bit due to Lanayru Twilight, and Bean did not get Bombhouse Skip.
Yeah, I actually didn't see if he went for it, even.
I saw him chasing after the bug as it went into the house from an angle that appeared to be that he was
oh, that's
coming from the other direction. Where is Cactus at right now? Cactus is also in Elden Twilight. Cactus is currently in Eld Inn. Now, Cactus does do ELH route, so where Orcrist does Pillar Clip route. Again, the routes that we have here for Badamja, who is more aware of the route structure overall, Wynots and Cactus are our ELH runners, where Ether and Orcrist are our Pillar Clip runners, and Bean is our HD runner. So the structure's a little bit different.
Right. But... so the Gorge Void Pillar Clip routes are going to look like artificially behind right now, but they have done a little bit more stuff than like Wynots has on MP Lake Hylia, so they'll catch up a bit later.
Mm-hmm. We are not an entire Twilight behind Wynots for the other runners currently. That would be quite the wild development from the early game. Now Bean also finishing up the Twilight here.
Hopefully
go ahead.
I was going to say, hopefully the bug that shall not be named will behave for Bean as well.
Is it an easier bug to handle on HD versus SD due to the tier collection?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, the tier collection timing doesn't really make a difference. It's just getting the bug in the first place.
Yeah.
Is the problem.
Yeah. Why not getting Waterfall Side Hop? Waterfall Side Hop being about the only interesting thing that happens in Linearu Twilight. The only other interesting thing that happens is the lily pad bugs, which are kind of a negative thing. So we'll see how those lily pad bugs go for Why Nots here in just a moment.
No, we see something else, which is the very interesting 2 minutes of running as well.
That is, in fact, what follows up the lily pad. Well, one bug after the lily pad bugs. That was a good lily pad bug.
That was very good.
Nice.
So Bean actually has to do something slightly different here. So some of the other runners that finished Elden Twilight just went immediately. They warped up to get the meteor, and then they went and did Linearu Twilight. Bean actually, of course, can't warp up there and can't warp the meteor over to Linearu Twilight yet. He has to go into Linearu Twilight well, I would say the normal way, but as we're going to see in a little bit here, it's not quite normal. And he does need to talk to this Goron as well.
It's not the normal way? What are you talking about? I know exactly what's going to happen. And yeah, that's normal.
It's very normal. I haven't done it the other way in quite a while, so I'm pretty sure it's the normal way, right? That's how that works?
Yeah. Orcrist attempting Wolf Bomb House skip and sliding off the edge. So defaulting to the boomerang method, which is not that much slower. A very smart choice to not mess around with the wolf method, though it is the faster method of the two. It can be quite finicky. Ether just going for that human bomb house skip method. These two are somewhat synced up, but actually no, they are just synced up at this point. I forgot.
Yeah, because they're on the same route. So
yeah.
Oh no, Ether. Get a side hop towards the house. Oh. Okay, I guess this works too.
That does, yeah.
I think he could have just side hopped towards the house and it might have collected it, but...
Yeah, if you, like, side hop into the collision of the house, it, like, kind of works. It's weird.
Yeah. Bean just proved that he is a cowboy.
What does that mean?
He wrangled a horse in a very RNG-heavy cutscene there, where he had to react totally to all of the things that were happening on screen, on the fly. But he has now tamed Epona, which the other runners did 1 minute into the run.
Yeah, the other runners are quite a bit more of cowboys. They saved Epona by saving a file.
That's right.
Bean performed it physically. Now, Bean is on his way to perform... Is this trick just called Fyrus Skip?
Yes.
Virus
Yeah.
skip. This
So
really
his-
skip. Yeah.
Historically, it only skipped virus, and then we found stuff that made it skip more than virus. So we still call it virus skip.
That's a good
Yeah.
name.
We used to do this with a bottle, which was fine for a while when we still did Ordon because we got the milk bottle. But then for a while we had to like go out of our way to get the oil bottle and then do some shenanigans with wasting lantern oil. But now we do it just with a Minical, which you're going to see in a second here. Hopefully he can get it quickly. Thankfully, none of the birds are bothering him.
In Wii AD, we beat Virus and then do Virus skip. So, by the way, this is Virus skip here.
That should work.
Nice.
He's got to wait for the text a little bit, and then he's going to ride around on the floor out of bounds.
Yeah, it's a very goofy trick. But Damja, what this reminds me of is in Skyward Sword 100%, they perform a trick called Early Thunderhead at the exact time you're supposed to do Thunderhead. So in Hundo, it's called On-Time Thunderhead. Can we think of a revision to Virus Skip to make it apply for Wii AD that doesn't skip Virus with Virus Skip? I believe it should have a different name for that reason.
I don't know, what would you call it, like Pegasus 4 or something?
Pegasus 4?
I mean, I guess they don't do as much Pegasusing anymore, do they? Like, how much Pegasus is there in the current Wii any percent route anyway?
Well, this is Wii All Dungeons, which may have more, but that is a good question. I know that they do, they absolutely still do the ESC at the beginning of the run.
Yeah, HD used to have a little bit of Pegasus going on, not as much anymore. We just still do the Virus Skip, but we used to have one that was called the Ponoclip in North Lineru Field. It was very interesting and cool, and a nice cool sequence, but then it became obsolete and the run became way easier when we found King Boblin 2 Skip.
Virus Defeat is a really good name for that, actually. It makes no sense, but honestly, neither does On-Time Thunderhead, so... It's just a case of the trick is still fast, despite doing what you think you could normally do casually. Orcrist, are you a gamer? No.
Honestly, as somebody who was not very often gaming when running the GameCube version, I'm not going to get too mad at them for not being gaming.
I don't know my ratio of gaming, I'm gonna be so for real. That said, every time that I'm a gamer, I say, I'm a gamer. And every time I'm not a gamer, I get, like... whatever the opposite of a shot of a... Okay, I was going somewhere with this. What's, like, the positive thing that happens chemically in your brain? My brain wants to say morphine,
dopamine?
That's not it.
It's not morphine. It's like a mix of dopamine and morphine. I mean, I know it's an actual thing, but still.
Dopamine and morphine. So yeah, whatever the opposite of morphine... No, the opposite of dopamine is Christ.
Yeah, that gaming, like, one-framer is the only one-framer that feels like it's somehow sub-one frame, even though that's obviously not possible.
Yeah, for sure. Why Not is fighting the big bug. Something kazoo.
And bonking on the leg here. Very nice.
Yeah, bonking on the leg. So basically, when the actual dash animation starts after you've targeted a leg, the fight is over. It just plays out the whole sequence. What we do is we interrupt that animation, and that just ends the fight a little bit earlier.
Yeah. Really briefly, I just want you to look at Bean's screen and look at where the camera is pointing. Obviously towards where there is a bug. Wait, Bean, where are you going? Oh, the bug is over here now. Interesting.
Yeah.
So the camera still points to where the bug was on SD. They never changed the camera. I don't know why.
Yeah. That's a thing. That's a wonderful thing. Why Nots is out of Linearu Twilight, but others aren't, so we're still in this painful, painful cycle that we call Linearu Twilight.
I thought we called it Squirtle Twilight. Squirtle Twilight.
It is Squirtle time.
Yeah, it's Squirtle time. Oh, man.
Lake
Bean only has
kind of Squirtle time.
Yeah, Bean only has the one lily pad bug, which is very nice. Makes that much easier.
Now, a quick check-in for our runner who is not on the screen right now. That's Cactus Melon, who... is that Malone? He does have an E on the end of Melon, so I think it's Cactus Malone. He is also in Linearu Twilight. He's... Yep. He is in Upper Zora's domain currently, from what I can see, and is slightly behind. Now that's largely due to the fact that he has not been to Lakebed yet. Where Orcrist and Ethernet have. And Bean Seller needs to get iron boots or something.
And Zora armor.
And Zora armor.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Why Nots is howling because, you know, as a dog, you gotta howl.
Yeah. Every now and then you just get, like, overtaken by the need to howl. It's a part of the game that's a little bit interesting as a choice by the developers that, yes, every now and then you just stop and it's a woo time.
Yeah, so normally you would get Ending Blow, which you need to beat the game from, it's like North Faron after Faron Twilight, but of course the GameCube runners did not beat Faron Twilight, so they have to get Ending Blow from elsewhere, which is why they have to howl for a dog.
Ether having a fun time with the ladybugs, lady pad bugs, lily pad bugs, English. I'm just gonna start speaking another language.
Just start calling them ladybugs. That's what they are. It's not the
yeah, the ladybugs.
The
ladybugs. Why Not's here attempting to do Yalis, which is definitely the actual name of this trick and not something else. Now, what we're doing here is we're going to attempt to complete this Shadow Beast fight without Midna on back. Very nicely done. Now, this is something that was similarly done in the HD routes. It's not still done, right? You're entirely bombless in HD any percent these days, correct?
Yes, that's correct. So we did a different version of this because we actually, I believe, had... I don't remember. I think we had Midna back at this point when we were in the route, but we also... I think we may have done this fight as human anyway. I honestly don't remember the exact details, but we don't do it anymore because we used to get bombs that way, and then we just don't need bombs anymore because of early Snow Peak, which was like 2020. Feels so recent, even though it was so long ago.
Yeah. So what all of this is to say about bombs is that what Why Nots is doing right now has duplicated a bomb bag by first being assigned a minigame version of that bomb bag, and then it reinitiating that minigame state. Basically what the game does is tries to then assign the then already assigned minigame bomb bag as something to be stored and returned to you when the minigame state ends. So when you end that minigame state, you are still given a bomb bag back. Boom, you have a bomb bag. It's a pretty neat little thing. The way that Why Nots is going to do that here is actually by death warping. That is what we're doing right now. We're going into this minigame here. Death warp serves two purposes here. We're going to first do what I just said, assign that bomb bag. Second, clip in such a way that we bonk and fall out of bounds while in the minigame state doing the plum minigame. Where you're not supposed to die in the plum minigame. It's not even supposed to be possible. So this causes a separate glitch, which also empties Lake Hylia. So we're going to start back over in Lake Hylia, which has now been emptied due to that game over in the plum minigame. And this is how Why Nots and later Cactus Melon are going to get into Lake Bed. is by doing a very specific setup here to do a bomb boost into Lake Bed.
Yes, Moorfield got very thirsty all of a sudden, and the entirety of Lake Hylia is now empty.
Why Not's doing a version of this that I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, this is another trick where there's a bunch of different little variations.
Huh.
Yeah, and what is that, like a 3-frame window to drop the bomb at the right time there, is that right?
Yeah, it's a 3-frame window to drop the bomb to be bomb boosted in. Now that said, I wouldn't actually be surprised if the method that Why Nots is going for is something to adjust that kind of thing. Because I've never seen that setup before at all. I've never seen the iron boots used for that method of getting into Lake Bed. I've seen it used for the original one, which that was awful. But yes, the traditional method for ELH bomb boost is in fact a 3-frame trick. Why Not's entering Lake Bed, dropping bombs willy-nilly. Now the reason for that is we want to empty our regular bomb bag to have water bombs. We need to first empty the bomb bag entirely so we're not assigned those regular bombs when we attempt to open a bomb chest. That will give us water bombs, which is going to enable us to do a trick called swimming with water bombs and doing air refills. More on that when we get there. Why Nots is first going to do Wormhole here, which is going to be our first displacement clip of the run.
I forgot about this one. That's totally normal. This is how you normally get around in Lake Bed.
Yep. Clipping out of bounds and swimming under the out of bounds water to then clip back up, and this skips going in that main room the first time, saves a few seconds.
What's the short version again on like why displacement clipping works? Is it just that walls aren't real, or like what's the deal there?
Walls aren't real. The short of it is if you're able to get over half of Link's collision box through a bit of geometry in a single frame, it will clip you to the other side. This can be done with a number of things. I don't remember the exact number, but it's something like 36 units of displacement in a single frame. Which is why it's interesting to me that it's... Oh, okay, there's the Zero Cycle. Let's go. But that's why it's something that's interesting to me that we haven't figured it out for HD, because I believe the explanation is mostly that simple. So, like, HD not being able to just clip through in a similar manner is odd. In my mind, there's got to be more to it than just my understanding, though.
Yeah, well, there's definitely collision differences, which actually leads to HD being able to do different types of clips, like with the first-person camera. So I think, you know, we get some clips and then we lose some. Just because
yeah, it's a give and take for sure. And we will actually be seeing those kinds of clips. Where will we be seeing first-person clips throughout the run? I know Lake Bed we use one, and is that...
Yeah, so there's two in Lake Bed. There's two in Lake Bed. I don't remember if there's another one. I know there's a third-person claw shot clip in City, and then like another one that's optional to do Rolfo skip. But I don't remember if there's any other look-through clips. I'm trying to think. Yeah, none are coming to mind right now.
Orcrist and Ethernet are wrapping up Linearu Twilight here. They are, Ethernet being the final one to wrap up Linearu Twilight, and then we can stop being so appalled by the Squirtle zone that is Linearu Twilight. Everyone dislikes Squirtle. If you like Blastoise, then, I don't know, we will pick on you on the playground or something. So, Why Not's having that Claw Shot is now going to do Boss Key Skip and head into the Morpheal fight. That was a very severe angle. I was really interested to see how that was going to work. Maybe we'll see it again.
Yeah, this is one of these tricks that the HD version no longer really has to do because we have a different way of doing it, which we'll see in a bit.
Mm-hmm. and why not's entering Morpheal. So the general idea of what we're going to do with Morpheal here is that there's a trick called Swimming with Water Bombs, which is, while the pull animation of a water bomb is going on, it's relatively lenient because the pull animation is relatively long. You unequip the iron boots, you can either swim upwards while not holding a direction, or if holding a direction while, like, you just do the unequip while moving and continue moving, you won't drop it either. And then if you drop the water bomb while in the air with it, in the first frame, the game will run a check for if you are on the ground, and in that frame, you are not. So it assumes you are not underwater and refills your air because it doesn't check that on that same frame for some reason.
Yeah, and you have to be careful not to drop the bomb too quickly, otherwise something really funny happens. But hopefully we will not see it from any of the runners.
If we see a rocket link, I would be very surprised.
Yeah, I suppose we will see one or two done on purpose in the Gorge Pillar Clip routes, maybe? Or do they still do Yalis to get the bomb back nowadays?
They
I
also
guess we're
do
about to
Yalis,
see.
yes. We will not see any Goron bomb bags. Yalis was faster than Norgor by a few seconds, so entirely invalidating the Goron bomb bag. Why Nots is getting a little bit of bad RNG. Looks like possibly a 3-bomb here. We'll see if we get the re-grab. Oh, I called it a little bit early. That looked close enough, but I guess not quite.
Yeah, Morpheal's swim patterns are kind of RNG, but usually this is fairly consistent. You can play around the RNG.
Yeah, there is.
Grab.
Ooh, okay.
There you go.
I was a little bit sketched with how low she was in her oscillation, but still very nicely done by Why Not. Orchrist duping the bomb bag himself. Ethernet is also doing that same trick, and as is Cactus Melon. The three of them are relatively in sync currently. Now, that said, Cactus Melon, again, has not gone to lake bed at all. Bean Seller, however, has just saved the wagon
Saved
by
a fish.
escorting it. Saved a fish.
That's right. And now the fish mom is very happy. And so he's going to get rewarded with a underwater breathing suit or something.
Yes, TGD. Ethernet and Orchrist are Pillar Clip routes. Why Not and Cactus Melon are on ELH route, and Bean Seller is playing the HD version of the game.
Nice little tunnel warp there from Bean, which used to be banned and glitchless. Little known fact.
HD can skip King Bulblin 1 and 2.
Yes, we used to not be able to skip King Bulblin 2, and it was like a big thing. And then I guess it was 2018 now that we discovered the little clip out of bounds there.
Yeah, the Mr. Men strat.
That's right.
Which turned out to be a what do we call those? Step clip. A step clip, which wasn't found again until last year. Where the step-up animation kind of pushes you out to the side and clips you through geometry, which we will see on the GameCube runner side. We will see that in Arbiter's Grounds. Do you do triple Stolfo skip with 3PCC, or do you do it with a step clip in the HD version? Do you know, Jaquaid?
So the times I've done it have been doing the step clip. I think that 3PCC version is still possible on HD, but I have not personally messed with it.
All right. And Orcrist and Ethernet are both ascending Snowpeak. So what we've been doing for the races on Wolfdash 5 is that we've been predicting, we fielded all of the runners' favorite ice cream flavors. Now, we are putting out predictions. Chat, get your predictions in. What are Ethernet and Orcrist's favorite ice cream flavors? We will reveal the flavor later on in the run.
So, sorry, did you have ice cream come to mind because of all the snow?
I suppose. I received a DM that said, do this.
Oh. Okay, I gotcha. Well, I mean, it is timely given all the snow around. I mean, kind of looks like ice cream a little bit.
Cookies and cream, Orcrist mint chocolate, Ether strawberry. I can't guess I've been spoiled. You can guess incorrectly intentionally if you want, and then not say it's incorrect. So, I don't hear an excuse. Bean Seller's going to go slap Bo.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. So HD, because we don't have back in time, we can't get the iron boots early, and so we have to go way out of our way to go get iron boots, like just smack dab in the middle of the run. It's very unfortunate. It loses quite a bit of time.
Okay. We also have TGD guessing Minecraft Diamond flavor. Pounce the Tiger guessing mint chocolate for Orcrist, which I agree that is one that makes a lot of sense for Orcrist's personality. But I'm just saying Parmesan, which is apparently a real flavor. What?
Can I unsee that? That Parmesan is a real ice cream flavor. I feel like that would be gross.
Yeah. Is it frozen Parmesan cheese or is it actual ice cream? Like, I don't know how easy it would be to liquefy Parmesan into a soft serve. I don't want to know the process for that, but cheese is slightly close to cream, I guess.
Yeah. I would say that Orcrist is snowboarding right now, except for the fact that his screen is, like, totally black. I mean, it's blind. Completely blind.
Yeah,
nothing can be seen.
I don't know what's happening there either. He's doing a method of blind snowboarding that I'm unfamiliar with, and by that I mean I do, like, my own thing, I think, and it scares people, which is fair. I don't know how he's doing this. Like, he's currently facing... Yeah, okay. I
feel like blind is a little bit of an overstatement. But
it is a little bit of an overstatement, but being...
It is... it's very much an overstatement for HD. As we'll see later.
Ooh, this is a good chat poll. Alright. On account of ignoring the fact that Roxanne has way more chances to see Orcrist eat ice cream, who here has not seen Orcrist eat ice cream? Can we get some chat opinions on this? I don't think I've seen him eat either, Badamja. What about you, Jaquaid?
Do we even know that Orcrist eats ice cream at all? Does he even have a favorite flavor?
Does he even eat food?
That's right.
Why Nots is, by the way, doing Minas Desperate Hour and then going to Snowpeak.
Does Orcrist photosynthesize?
At Orcrist GC, do you photosynthesize? Alright, I believe that we have a question for him if he decides to join us for post-race commentary after the run. We'll need to remember that one.
Why Not's got a little bit bridged there, unfortunately.
Yeah, so this bridge is made out of anger and pain. So it does nothing but hate, and you just sometimes fall through it.
Yeah, so he
And
didn't.
interestingly, none of the clips are ever like the same way to fall through it.
Yeah, so he didn't like phase through the bridge or stumble. I think he just got dash canceling at like a bad time, so it didn't dash. But still, it's unfortunate.
I still blame the bridge.
Yeah.
And now we have Orcrist has the ball and chain. Ether is going to do a displacement clip by moving one of the balls, the cannonballs. Displacement clips are cool.
Do you know how much faster that is than just doing final freeze art skip?
I don't know. I know that it is faster, and I'm like, neat.
Yeah, but it can't be that much faster because final freeze art skip is fairly quick. I mean, I guess it's slower on GameCube, but
because of the slow climbing, 2 seconds-ish.
Okay,
Great.
interesting.
Speaking of the fast climbing and HD changes, one of the HD changes includes not clanking on walls, which I believe is why HD is able to do the Quaforce clip, whatever that was.
I did not know that it had a name.
But yeah, I think it's named after a runner. Yeah, the HD version's happening. What's happening on the HD side of things?
Well, we're about to see a sort of interesting, different version of Pillar Clip, and very fast. It's much faster than doing it without Zora armor. So Bean is now in Lakebed Temple, and the primary reason, I mean, there are several reasons, but one of the primary reasons why HD gets the Zora armor is like actually just to get through this tunnel. Because basically, if we could get through this tunnel, I think we would be able to just get the water bombs that are in here. But the problem is that like it's really hard to get water bombs outside of Lakebed, like in the HD route at least. And since we can't save warp through, which by the way, I don't know if we mentioned that, is something that having the Master Sword just randomly allows you to do. But because we can't save warp through that tunnel, we have to get the Zora armor to be able to swim through. Otherwise, we would drown.
Yeah, so with the Master Sword, if you enter Lakebed, it does just save warp. Save warping does just put you towards the end of the tunnel, so that you don't save warp as a wolf and
that's
locked out.
Huh. That makes total sense. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, it's just an interesting interaction because Lakebed is a place you don't go as wolf. You don't have the Master Sword when you're here. But they thought about it, I guess.
Well, and it's not one of the dungeons, because there's really only one dungeon that you have to do in 2 trips if you're playing casually, and this is not one of them. It was just Goron Mines, where like if you wanted to get all the stamps, you'd have to come back with Claw Shot later.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know why they envision you coming back here. I mean, maybe if you just forgot to get one of the heart pieces or something.
Yeah, for the enabling people to be completionist about it and get all of the heart pieces is about the most justification I can think of. We have Orcrist going into the eel fight here. Slightly different setup for what was happening because of the different route, meaning we had a different orientation of the bridge in the center room.
Real quick, we're about to see one of the look-through clips that's HD exclusive right here.
Oh yeah, this is really cool. While this is happening, what's Why Not's favorite ice cream flavor? Because they're climbing Snow Peak. If the chat doesn't answer that question, I will divulge all secrets of all runners. This is borderline a threat. Some of them will be their ice cream flavor. Others it will be like, I don't know.
Orcrist. Oh yes! No! Orcrist got the thing!
Orcrist got the thing!
That's so cool. Not cool for Orchrist. I'm sure Orchrist is not very happy by getting the thing, but anyway. Got eyeballed. Oh no, Orchrist, get out of the way.
The greatest position here.
Yeah, just kind of swim away. And then he's gonna be extra safe. He might have had enough air, but now he definitely has enough air to get the eyeball. But he's not.
If it wants to behave.
There we go. It's gonna go to the right spot. Oh my.
No! Why?
Yeah, so the thing that happened earlier, I mean, other than the eyeball just giving bad RNG, I think if you, like, hit the eyeball at around the same time that you get grabbed by a tentacle, the eyeball just kind of, like, freezes in place and becomes invulnerable. It's something like that.
God. Orchrist finishing the first phase. That was the most gripping part of this race so far. Yeah, I think that's what happens there. Like, I don't know if it's the same frame interaction or just, like, one animation happens at the same time as another.
Yeah.
But
I doubt it's frame perfect, because I've definitely had it happen to me before. I was very confused the first time it happened. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah,
is Ethernet going for one?
Fantastic patience and understanding of how to adjust the fight.
I think I'm sorry, did Ethernet just get one bomb? Am I crazy?
What?
I thought I saw a double regrab there. And
Wow.
like with tons of air to spare, by the way.
GG Ethernet.
Very impressive.
Have we had any other one bombs this tournament?
I don't know.
Bean is about to get a 0 bomb.
That's right. And another look-through clip here. Very nice. Just kind of clipping through for no reason.
That was the first one bomb of the tournament. Let's go, Ether. GG.
Yeah. Well, most people don't go for it in a race setting just because, you know, you can't reset. It's very bad.
You know what Why Not is going to go for is that Kingdom Hearts flavored ice cream.
Is that the official answer?
That is one of the answers people gave.
Interesting.
The official answer for Why Nots is vanilla. And similarly, we also had Ether earlier. The answer for Ether was redacted.
Redacted? What? Did Ether not answer the question?
It's redacted. Orchrist, we will actually be restricting the answer for when he gets in the call later. Because we're not sure if he eats food right now.
That's right. Oh, yep, it is redacted. You're right. I think that anybody who didn't answer the question got it redacted. Although, you know, we'll have to ask Ethernet if he put in the questionnaire, question mark, question mark, question mark.
The reason that we answered for Why Nots is that Pounce the Tiger did in fact guess it right, and that is the game, is that we do not divulge. But we can answer if no one guesses correctly. I just think it's funnier to not.
Okay.
But good job, Pounce the Tiger, for guessing vanilla correctly. What do you get for guessing right? Do you have vanilla ice cream? If you do, I recommend feeding Why Nots some vanilla ice cream.
I think we also
Does
have to
he breathe air? Orchrist?
I don't know. Maybe Orchrist is a robot. I mean, we were thinking like maybe he photosynthesizes. He's a plant. And maybe he would like breathe air in a sense. But maybe he's just a robot.
He's a photosynthesis robot.
A photosynthesizing robot. He's got a robot with solar panels.
Yeah. Bean has now gotten the first zero bomb of the tournament, which is fantastic.
Very impressive.
I think.
Yeah,
Nobody did Wii with Zora armor, did they?
I don't think so. I'm not sure if we're going to see any non-HD zero bombs, honestly, because I feel like people don't really do the Zora armor routes anymore, but maybe some of the newer people still do.
Yeah. I think the only person who would be FX, who no one has heard of in years.
Okay, so I guess the beginner route runners. I guess the beginner route has ZA routed in.
Oh, they're beginner route runners.
Zora.
Okay.
Yeah. I see.
Why Not is going to talk to Aru and go to the desert. The desert is going to be the spot where a lot of interesting things happen, as though I haven't had ample time to talk about basically all of the interesting things happening, because this is an interesting run. We're going to do some very fun clips. It's very different from the last time there was a Wolfdash when you were in Arbiters.
Yes. RB is and has always been extremely interesting for whatever reason, and very difficult as well.
Although, notably in the past few months, it's gotten easier.
That's
and
true.
is arguably easier than it was years ago now.
Yeah, it's still quite difficult in HD, but...
Absolutely, on HD it's quite a bit more difficult, especially since you have to do the method of Pogate skip that you have to do on HD.
Yeah. Which actually we won't see in this run, I guess, because I'm pretty sure Bean confirmed at the beginning of the stream that he's not doing Pogate skip.
Ah, I see.
So we will see traditional Arbiter's Grounds from Bean, I suppose, once he gets there.
Will we be seeing the Pogate skip from you later today, Jaquaid?
If when I practice it is not completely terrible, then I will probably do it, yes.
I see. Yeah, Jaquaid and I are also participating in the tournament, and will be a part of a pool that is later today, and instead of practicing, we decided 3 hours of our time is worth just doing this. Because this is fun. Checking in on Cactus Malone here. It appears that Cactus is, in fact, in MDH. Ethernet transforming to... You know what? He just doesn't like that Bulblin, apparently. Fair enough. Yes, 4 of the 5 runners are in MDH right now. Orcrist and Ethernet are on their way to Arbiter's Grounds right afterwards, or rather, after they get Ending Blow, where Cactus Malone still has to go to Snow Peak, and Bean Cellar also has to go to Snow Peak. Is there anything else that Bean has to do?
A lot. I mean, yeah, so after getting Master Sword, because after... Bean has to finish MDH, then he has to get Master Sword, then he still has to go to... Oh, excuse me. He still has to go to Snow Peak. And in a very weird way compared to what the other runners did. And then he'll finally get to go to Arbiters, and most of the stuff at that point should align back together.
Mm-hmm. Ethernet coming up on the bridge that everybody hates here. The bridge does not have much ire for Ethernet today. And now Orcrist is going to come up on the bridge shortly. We will see if the bridge has a grudge against Orcrist. Why Nots is doing a map glitch to do early King Bulblin 3. This trick sure exists. I've never seen it with slashes and not a spin attack, but you know what? Fair enough.
That was very fast.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. I don't know if we're going to see the other technically say, oh, Orcris just got bridged. That's interesting. Although
Orcris
still
got
made the
bridged
jump.
but lived.
Yeah.
Orcris is
Bridged.
filled with determination.
Bridged and lived to tell the tale. As I was saying, I was curious if we're going to see the somewhat slower version of that map glitch in Bulblin Camp from any of the runners, where it's, it's very consistent, but you fall for a very long time.
Yeah, we may. I don't see why we wouldn't theoretically see it. I'm pretty confident in saying Ethernet and Orcris likely don't do it. We might see it from Cactus Malone, and Bean can't do it, so...
Yeah.
Okay, that was an interesting interaction between Bean Seller and Bo Hugo there.
Bo Hugo. Are they all like some sort of version of Hugo? Like is King Bulblin just basically Big Hugo?
There's those two that are named Hugo, and then there's Hugo Archery in the Hidden Village, and none of the other ones are named Hugo.
Right.
Bean getting bridged! Got a short hop off of the middle of the bridge!
Hubo. Oh, man. It's like a mix of Hugo and Bo. Hubo. Like, I'm now imagining that archery, that Bulblin Archer has a Bo's mustache.
That's awesome. My favorite thing about Hugo Archery is, did you know that you can do the majority of Hugo Archery with the slingshot?
Yeah, I guess they just fall off their ledge and die.
Yeah, the interaction is just a projectile hitting the ones that are on a higher level, and they just fall off and die. And then the ones that are on the ground you have to beat with the sword, but it's still funny. So you can do all of Hugo Archery without the bow.
It's a form of archery, just with slingshot pellets.
Is that still archery?
I don't know. Let's just roll with it. We're about to see a very cool trick from Why Nots.
Yeah, because why not?
That's right. You see all these pose. The game wants you to get all the pose. We used to skip one of the pose. Now we skip all of them.
Yeah. We used to skip the one in the main room. Now we spend the most time with it.
That's right, yeah. It's our best friend now. He's cheering us on as we try to clip through the gate here. We spent so much time trying to figure out how to get around this gate, and then little did we know the easiest way to go through was just effectively do something that looks like a rupee slide.
It literally is one.
It literally is?
What we're doing here,
okay.
Yeah, so what we're doing here is a very specific setup to align ourselves exactly on the seam, and then we're picking up a rupee to do the world's shortest rupee slide, because we're already falling instead of waiting 9 hours.
That was super fast.
Yeah.
Well, I love the tech there to damage down. That's very nice.
Yep, and that damaging down is because we don't want to save warp after we... I have not seen that as a human before. Why would you do that as a human? You still have to transform.
It's slightly faster.
Is it?
I think it's faster than Bee attacking through the corner, yes. Beast was telling me that the roll stab version is faster than immediately turning wolf.
Huh.
So
Neat.
I think that's even faster than doing like a roll stab.
That's really cool. I like that. I've legitimately never seen that before. That surprised me. Why Not is doing the worst part of the run here, which is doing that slide on crit health. Because we enter the load as a human. Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the next room is definitely kind of difficult to get across the sand as human.
We will be.
That is very
nice.
Impressive. I can never do that. Very clean. Wow. This is actually a pretty good run for Why Not. I mean, it was a little bit slower towards the beginning, but this is, for a race, this is quite good. Yes, so the routes all pretty much sync up in Arbiter's Grounds, and that's pretty much always been the case. It's because late game, it's Arbiters, then City, Palace, Hyrule Castle, and that really hasn't changed much.
Mm-hmm. So one of the other main changes that we'll see here is Why Not's being on this low health, like I was trying to get to earlier, before I got surprised, is that when doing Death Sword Skip, we have half a heart now. This is what the damaging down was for, to do Death Sword Skip, and then we're going to Death Warp, so that we don't have to save Warp out of here. It's going to be how we escape Death Sword without beating Death Sword. Very nice Death Sword Skip from Why Nots.
I love how dying with the spinner is the fastest, apparently.
Yeah. It's called a spinner bomb boost.
Spinner
Bomb boost to the game over screen. Porkrist also not doing the method of that I was expecting to see. At this point, I think that more runners than I thought just kind of, like, do what they want to get to the spot to do that LJA. Why Nots is in the Epic Spinner Room, which is very epic and super cool. There's a very tight cycle to where, well, it's not the tightest cycle in the world. There's a tight cycle to get on and be able to cross, not this spinner track, but there's some spiky death traps here on this upcoming track that, if on a good cycle, Why Nots is able to just go across, and it appears to be the case. Nicely done.
We get a quick update on where Cactus is right now.
Cactus Melon E is in Snow Peak, just having finished climbing up Snow Peak Mountain. And that brings on the question, thank you for asking that, what is Cactus Melon's favorite ice cream? I'm going to guess Screwdriver. Yes, those spikes are very annoying. The left side and right side are not synced up properly. This is for Ryuken in chat saying these spikes are the worst game in the game casually. They're not synced up properly, and I believe it takes multiple days for the same cycle to repeat itself. Luckily, the second fastest cycle is not horribly far after the first one, but it can be quite interesting, because there's not really repetition to it. And we have melon flavored from Cactus Melon E.
That would make sense.
The
Although,
I'm guessing cactus flavor. You can
I feel like either of those. I feel like either of those would be a form of like soft cannibalism. So I'm not sure that we should condone that. But who knows?
What, eating cactus ice cream?
Well, if Cactus Melon is eating cactus or melon ice cream, I don't know.
You know,
I mean, I figured that Cactus Melon is secretly part cactus and part melon.
That is a really good point. Strawberry ice cream. Pounce the Tiger, who has previously correctly guessed people's ice cream flavor, is making a shot at In the Dark here at Strawberry. Now, unfortunately, this is not correct.
No,
Why Nots is flying and killing Joseph, and a lot of things are happening on the screen right now. And going to fight Stallard, I think? No.
He needs to get a new Joseph.
He decided to jump with the spinner into the sand pit. That was just cool. That was awesome.
Interesting. So, yeah, so Why Nots is doing Stallard Skip right now. Which I don't remember. This has changed a little bit, right, since displacement clipping was discovered?
Yeah, so there's a bombless method that we do here where we line up, and we're going to put Joseph on the opposite side of what we usually do, or what you would remember, I should say. So he goes over here, and then what you're going to see him do is similarly to lining up on the seam like we did for getting through the Poe Gate. We're going to also end up on the seam, and it looks like a little bit late on that. Pausing for a second to get to Stallard, who's going to have a breath here. We want to end up, this spinner movement is going to put us in the correct spot here so that we can clip in a way that clips us into the gate partially, and then we just walk through.
Yep. And perfect timing, we can talk about early snow peak for Bean on HD. So HD doesn't have map glitch, which the other runners use to get up this mountain. There is a void trigger. Well, there's a bunch of void triggers around, which is why Bean is running in kind of a weird-looking manner. But there's a unavoidable one kind of up here at this corner. But it turns out it is avoidable if we do a super jump, although he did not avoid it there. He's going to have to run back.
Mm-hmm. So this does beg the question, what is Bean Seller's favorite ice cream? I'm going to guess it's Coffee Bean.
Yeah, it's like a coffee flavor. What would it be? Like, what are the official names for the coffee flavors? Is there literally one named Coffee Bean? I thought there was something else that was like coffee something.
Well, I mean, so there's like coffee is... I've seen Coffee Bean before. There's different coffee flavors for sure. Yeah. Vanilla and Vanilla Bean are, I believe, 2 different flavors.
That's correct. Okay, so Bean is gonna get a specific, like, into a specific spot here, and then he's going to try to use one of these Wolfos to jump. He's gonna have to get in the spot again. But he'll use one of these Wolfos to super jump up this cliff and avoid the quote-unquote unavoidable void trigger here.
So, Mewick's got it correct by guessing that Bean's favorite ice cream flavor is chocolate ice cream, which is interesting because chocolate... Does it come from a bean? I don't know. Cocoa bean, yes. So that makes a lot of sense. Now that said, I similarly want to give credit to a Happy Lamb, who guessed, do y'all enjoy Little Caesar's pizza? While misspelling Caesar. I don't think I've had a Little Caesar's ice cream pizza before, but that would be interesting to see.
This is an interesting early snow peak attempt from Bean. We'll see if this works.
It is, but it looks like it should be fine.
Yep. Oh, you got it. Very nice. Yeah, and so
Why
at this
is the
point...
gap between Ether and Orcrist so big now? The gap is so big now because of the thing that's happening on Ether's screen right now. Ether has been doing Poe Gate Clip for a little bit now.
Yeah. And at this point, I was going to briefly mention that the HD route and the GameCube route are pretty similar from here on out. Poe Gate Skip would be a little bit different in Arbiters for Bean, but he's not going for it. So we would see normal, like traditional Arbiters grounds instead of what some of the other runners are doing. But otherwise, you know, it's pretty much the same the rest of the way. There's a couple of differences, like with third-person clawshot clips, but it's mostly the same.
It's very neat to see. Now, we do have the question, what is Cactus Melon's favorite flavor? I don't know how to say that. Stracciatella? It's straw. Straw flavored. Cactus likes straw flavored. Yeah, whatever guy just said in chat, that's straws. Cactus Melon eats straw. Why Nots is going into City in the Sky. And yes, it's been said a couple of times now, but this is a very solid run for Why Nots, being on pace for a sub 250 run. Very handily. Now that said, we have Orcus heading into Stallard, Bean going down the mountain and going to Snow Peak, Ethernet attempting to do triple Stalfos skip, and Cactus Melon is on his way to Arbiter's grounds.
Yes, and Bean is doing, as you mentioned, blind quote-unquote snowboarding, which, as you can see, I mentioned this earlier, it's not very blind on HD. You can pretty much see perfectly. Also, what is not blind are the rupees. The rupees are actually here on HD. Normally during blind snowboarding, the rupees would not be there, but for whatever reason they are on HD. I think they may be on Wii as well, but I don't quite remember.
TGD asking why Ethernet isn't looking down. I don't know what looking down even does for this trick, so I'm going to say
No, he was asking why is he looking
why
down?
is he? Oh.
Doesn't look like he's looking down to me now.
Orcus going into Stallard skip.
We have Cactus back on screen.
Welcome back to the screen, Cactus Melon. We have the 4 GameCube runs on screen. Now they are all past the point where they were syncing up between Gorge and ELH routes. So the difference that you're seeing between the GameCube runners is just what the difference is. So we have Why Nots in the lead, getting the double claw shots, or on his way to, I should say, at Small Key Chest in the double claw shots segment, where Orchrist is just not too far behind, attempting to do Stallard skip. Ethernet is the next farthest behind in the Death Sword room, attempting to skip Death Sword. And Cactus Melon is jumping to King Moldon 3. Why not skipping over the Arolphos cutscene trigger? That is going to reset or not reset, but rather not adjust the respawn position of Link from a save warp away from the small key chest that he had just opened, and instead that, maintaining that will allow us to not go back to the beginning of the dungeon unless Adam glitch happens.
Yeah,
in which
Adam
case,
glitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was also cracking up. You called it Arolphos cutscene skip. Now I'm imagining Arolphos in that cutscene.
I say Arolphos, not Argarok.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny. It's like Arolphos flies across and the bridge just breaks underneath him. Just the sheer force.
Arolphos cutscene skip is called hitting the start button.
Yes, that's right.
Why Not's going to do City Gate clip here in a second. A very interesting trick. Now, this is the same gate, I believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong on this, Jaquade, but this same gate is the one that is unloaded on the HD version, correct?
That is correct, although we don't unload it anymore because we do have third-person claw-shot clip of the gate below now.
Oh.
But yes, so on HD you would be able to unload this gate by loading in a certain room in Lakebed. So we used to do that, and then this gate just wouldn't be here. Very fast and clean from Why Nots.
Very, very fast and clean. And not getting grabbed by the Baba. And on top of that, Orchrist getting through the gate and skipping Stallord. And even more so, Cactus Melon getting a small key. And picking up a skull. That one has a heart.
I think Ethernet has finally given up on Death Sword skip. Beautiful Arolfos skip from Why Nots. Not Arolfos cutscene skip, he did that before, but now he just skipped Arolfos itself.
So you're saying that first he had a beautiful Arolfos cutscene skip with the start button, and then a wonderful one doing an actual trick in the game, not do the casual mechanic.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Exactly.
Love to see it. I'm just noticing, actually, this is a callback a little bit. Why Not's had a very clean spinner segment. That was a best.
It was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is that what the blue is on Why Not's the
That
splits?
is at least my understanding of the blue.
I just thought that might mean that she was just ahead of the comparison. But maybe it was the best. I mean,
I am very used to... Oh, wait, the gold is the best, actually. Enter AG was a gold.
Yeah, okay.
Never mind.
Still, a gold on Enter AG is cool.
GG on golding Enter AG. Who else has had golds this run? Cactus Melon has golded Lineru Vessel. Orchrist does not have splits open, instead having a text field that says in a race and not reading chat. Ethernet, I cannot actively see one, but I can see a default dancing link.
Got Fortnite Dance Link.
Let's go Fortnite Dance Link.
I'm also cracking up at the background of the splits, which I mean, the viewers can't see, but the background of the splits has sub 3 on there. I think it's Link holding a text that says sub 3.
Yeah, doing a rupee slide, it looks like.
Which is funny because Ethernet does not have sub 3, I think, right?
I believe his comparison does say PB, which is 302.23.
Yeah.
I would answer for if Bean has gotten a best, but I'm going to be so for real on because Bean's not on right now. It's on my other monitor, and I'm watching a Geico ad. Bean does not have splits. That's the answer.
So Cactus actually might catch up to Ethernet here. It's not that big of a gap. I mean, obviously the gap between Orchrist and Ethernet has grown a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what would you say is like a couple minutes between Cactus and Ethernet right now?
Between Cactus and Ethernet, Cactus just entering Stallard, I would say, yeah, a couple of minutes. Maybe under 3 minutes. Assuming that Cactus Melon doesn't spend a while on Death Sword here. While Orchrist enters City in the Sky.
Yeah, Cactus also has a lot of health here, so I'm assuming Cactus might actually just kill Death Sword.
That's what I was thinking as well. Going the counterclockwise. Oop.
Oh. Oh. Cactus. Oh.
Yeah, whether or not Death Sword goes clockwise or counterclockwise does change how you approach the spin attack that you do to interrupt Death Sword. Cactus attempted to do what would make sense for a clockwise direction when he was in fact going counterclockwise. But still, Cactus has taken down Death Sword. Very nicely done. And Ethernet is going to attempt Stallard Skip. And is also, I'm realizing, attempting the old method of Stallard Skip. And did a turn around?
I don't know.
Was doing a different method of Stallard skip than I'm expecting. What is happening? I'll be able to tell based off of where the CAD puts it what we're doing here.
That doesn't look like a good spot.
No.
But what is...
It looks theoretically workable.
Interesting. That's... I've never done Stallard skip, so I didn't know that a spot like this would work, but I guess it does, because he's going for it.
So, the thing that matters for this method of Stallard skip for the claw shot through the gate is the spacing between Link and Joseph. So, anywhere that you can get to that partially clipped state and be the same depth from Joseph to have a good angle to get through, that is what's happening right now. I see. That makes sense. He's doing... yeah, okay.
Well, we'll see if it works here, I guess.
Nope. It does need to be reset, it looks like.
Well, Cactus with another good opportunity to catch up a little bit here.
Yep. The fact that Ether was claw-shotting... Yeah, exactly. The fact that Ether was claw-shotting between Joseph and the gate is not a good thing.
Yeah, and just as a reminder, the difference between getting third and fourth in this race is actually a pretty big deal, because third place would go on to a last chance pool with a chance to still get into the main bracket, whereas fourth place is just going to immediately go to the redemption bracket. So we got a tight race for that last chance opportunity, it seems.
Asking if Cactus does Stallard skip. I'm looking at their splits right now, and their best is faster than a Stallard without Stallard skip would be. Though that doesn't necessarily mean they'll do it right now. They do the skip in runs at the very least. And yes, as Jaquade mentioned, the third and fourth place placements in this race are quite notable, as well as second to third place, where first and second lock in their main bracket position. The third one goes to that last chance qualifier, and the fourth goes down to the redemption bracket.
Yeah. Although, I will say, anything can happen in the final hour, but Orchrist has a pretty healthy lead over third place right now.
Yes, and I see Ether is now fighting Stallard instead of doing the skip, where Cactus Melon is on their way into the fight. They will be going for the skip, it looks like.
Okay, so moment of truth, I guess. So Ethernet still has to do the second phase of Stallard, and then watch the cutscene.
Mm-hmm. And this can be very, very fast, as we saw from Why Nots earlier. And Orchrist is doing Citygate skip. A fun one.
Very nice from Orchrist. Let's see.
That looks good.
Cactus.
Okay. Yeah, very nicely done from Orchrist.
Meanwhile, Ethernet is going to try to get the quick knockdown from Stallard. I do wonder with all these runners doing Stallard skip if they still remember how to do the quick knockdown super well.
I had reason to do the quick knockdown not too long ago, and I found myself very readily able to do it.
Yeah, well, it's pretty lenient. Like, once you know how to do it, presumably you wouldn't forget, but just... I always do Stallard the normal way, because I've never done Stallard skip, so...
Cactus being very safe with the attack cycle. I don't know what's happening here that's causing this angle change. Well, okay, there I do. There we go. Okay. This is one of the setups to get into the gate here, different than the one that we saw Wynots and Orcris doing earlier. But it is still an equally valid setup. It's a very interesting one. Looks like Ether is the first one out of Stallard, but Cactus Malone not super far behind, necessarily, if he's able to get this skip right here. Nice, okay. Very nice. Cactus and Ether not super far separated.
Yeah, it's a pretty close race.
Wynots is on their way to Palace of Twilight, having just finished the City in the Sky segment, where Archrist, alright, or Orchrist is on his way to Argarok. Archrist is on his way to Orgarok.
He's gonna fight Orgarok. Doing Kai Clip here.
Yeah, Kai Clip, named for its founder, Muffin. Very nice little through the collision.
Yeah. Right, forgot about that. Why haven't we renamed it Muffin Clip?
Honestly, because I don't know, but I really find it funny to go Muffin Clip. Or not Muffin Clip, Kai Clip, named for its founder, Muffin.
Yeah.
I think I've done that in like 3 showcases, and then now here, and as many Wolfdash races as I'm able to.
Yeah.
Alright, Ethernet clipping into the statue. Nicely done.
Yeah, actually, I think Cactus is going to lose a little time here, right? Because Cactus is on French.
Cactus is on French and will lose a little bit of time to doing the French fire discount. That is correct.
Yeah. So it's not quite as close as it looks, I guess, because, yeah, I don't remember how long that extra cutscene takes, but it's a little bit of time.
It's under 20 seconds, but it is a decent chunk of time. Cactus with a little bit too far left of an angle, not quite able to get through. Orchrist in the fan tower, rolling around at the speed of sound. Got places to go, following his rainbow.
Did we ever specifically confirm that the fans move faster on the SD versions than they do on HD?
I don't know. I had always heard that it was just the HD version has gyro aiming, which is the more obvious statement.
Yeah, I thought... Well, I thought they were, like, the fans were just faster on GameCube, but I don't remember ever specifically comparing it. Anyway. Yeah, being also an HD runner thinks they're slower. That's what I thought. But it's definitely easier to do the final claw shot on HD than it is on GameCube.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and in fact, we can like actually do a slightly faster version of Fan Tower.
Yes, that much I was aware of, but I thought that was a result of the gyro aim. If it's a combination of the two, that's good to know.
Right, because like we can do, I think, that same version that HD does, right? To do Fan Tower slightly faster, but I think that it's like harder on Wii just because the fans are faster or something like that. But I forget the exact specifics, but Damned or somebody else who runs Wii might remember.
So from Ethernet and Cactus Melon repairing the cannon here. So let's see here. So we have an entry at... We're pretty close. We have Ethernet entering at 2:12:45 on the timer, where Cactus Melon is entering at... Let's see here. Something like 2:13:15-ish. We'll get the exact time here in a second.
Yeah. So about 30 seconds then?
About a 30-second difference, yeah.
Yep, pretty much.
A high 2:13:14. So yeah, roughly 30-second difference between the two of them for what is currently looking like that third place position. Going back up for the other runners on the screen, Orcrist is in Argarok in the bathroom cutscene because it is longer to watch the phase transition cutscene than the Argarok death cutscene. This is a better bathroom break than Argarok dying. Where Why Nots is coming out of the west wing of Palace of Twilight.
Yeah, as I was going to say, speaking of downtime, like the Argarok cutscene, the first half roughly of the Souls segment is pretty relaxing and kind of like downtime, and then you get to this room over here on the east, which is notoriously silly. Stupid room, that's right. It has very many different names. I think the most popular one is probably Stupid Room, but...
Yeah, so there's Stupid Room, which is stupid because, we can just mockingly talk about this right here. So first we're going to, go up here, and then we're going to claw shot up, but a keys might get in our way, but it didn't. So then you drop down a little bit and drop onto this platform, where you're going to, at some point, have a Zant head spawn, but you want to time it so that the Zant head spawns in a way that the pattern cycle is lined up, and then there's one of, 5 positions that it can line up in, and all of them are different, so it's very reaction-based, and so many things can go wrong, but Why Nots did it well, so good Stupid Room.
Yeah, Why Nots did it well. Why Nots also got one of the easier spawn locations, at least in my opinion.
For sure.
There's a couple that are notoriously difficult. I think if it spawns in, the back middle, or the one, right in front of that, it's pretty annoying. The other ones are usually okay, but some are faster than others.
My least favorite one is the farther back of the ones that are still midway through the platform of those two. Because that one, the correct reaction is to interrupt, at least that I know, is to interrupt your jump with a midair jump attack into a quick spin. And that's just really awkward to do as, a reaction-based thing. It's awkward enough to just do. Orcrist properly doing the Argarok fight here. Sorry, the Orgarok fight here from Arcrist.
Yeah, I noticed something on Ethernet's screen. I just wanted to confirm. Did you happen to see whether or not the fan was on Ethernet's screen?
I did not. Did he actively look? Because that's not something that you can see.
Yeah, I don't know if he actively looked. He looked pretty far forward when he transformed into Wolf.
So what I can do here is I can turn his audio on, and when he gets back into the main room, you can hear the fan, although I'm going to be quiet while I do it.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of quiet.
Let's see.
Doing this method of the Argarok cutscene skip. I almost did it again.
I mean, Argarok is really just a big foes, so... Let's see.
No, I don't hear it.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Okay. I just wanted to check. That would be a lot of time loss.
Yes, that would be minutes and minutes of time loss.
Although it would have been very interesting to see the backup,
True. The backup is very cool.
Yeah, and done optimally, I think it only loses a couple minutes.
I had thought it was
in
the realm of 4 minutes, but maybe I'm wrong on that.
Maybe I'm misremembering. You might be right.
But point is, when you say a couple of minutes, it's still minutes, right? Especially towards the end of this run here.
Okay, TGD is saying 3.5. That might be right.
Number in head's 3.5. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, TGD. Orcrist is now on a bridge, meaning that he's going to Palace of Twilight.
Yeah. So the backup for hitting the fan is not exactly going back through the casual way. So, like, if you don't get Atom Glitch and you got the Argarok cutscene skip, which Cactus just failed, unfortunately, then you'll spawn in the West Wing, I guess. So you're already kind of closer, but then there's like a lot of little tricks, not all of which I don't think work on GameCube, that save a bunch of time to get up to the central area pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think on Wii you can do like a third-person claw shot clip or something that saves quite a bit of time in that first room.
That would be news to me. That I'd actually like to see that. But I guess that would be a thing for like Wii Hundo, right?
Yeah. Because I thought I saw a clip of Beast doing it, and then it was a thing for HD as well. It's the room where you spawn in after the save warp. If you like try to go through that room, there's like a claw shot clip in there, I thought. Maybe I'm misremembering.
Actually,
I know it's a thing for like HD.
I think I know what you're talking about, and I think you are right, yeah. I'm remembering it now, I don't know. Yes, it was a small key room.
Speaking of, I mean, I guess it's too late now. We did see an interesting Argarok, or not Argarok, Rolfos cutscene skip from Ethernet there.
What, the displacement clip?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
did we see that from the others? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about just we were talking about just pressing the start button rather than skipping. I guess this doesn't skip the cutscene in of itself.
Yeah,
but
that goes
a
into
cutscene
the cutscene
before the cutscene. Yeah. Anyway. Oh man. No, why nots did not slash. Just to get a couple extra transforms here.
Heck.
Yeah, the low transforms run is over.
The low transforms run.
Yeah. That's what we're doing today, right? Low transforms.
Yes, absolutely. And now we will have a performance of low transforms from Anarakis. It will be a 20-hour endeavor. Apologies for the unintended 20-hour stream on ZSR.
Oh,
sorry, Trez. What happened to that heart?
Which one? The one behind
the
chest?
One on Why Not screen.
Like how it got over there?
So it was in the boomerang, but then the boomerang kept going.
Yeah.
And the heart didn't?
I think because the cutscene interrupted the boomerang, right? Like was it like a cutscene drop of the heart, I guess?
Oh, it was the cutscene, yeah, because the cutscene is spawning.
Yeah.
Cutscene drops are so cool. I like cutscene dropping. It's so niche, though.
Cactus is having trouble with the Aralpha skip here, trying to do it manually, and... Oh, no. That is not good. Okay, so Ethernet has a bit more of a lead than before. We'll see if Cactus can quickly recover. So yeah, I guess Cactus is going to have to do the displacement clip again to skip the cutscene.
Yes, that is what happens in this case.
Yeah.
Ethernet getting messed up by Quark, the Kargarok. That was... You know what? Quark had to show up eventually.
I thought there's one that's called Kirk. Is this just like a different version of Kirk?
Yeah, I believe the story for Quark is that someone was going to call that one Kirk and then just messed up while being exacerbated and animated and said Quark, and then now that is Quark's name.
Interesting. Yeah, because there is one that is Kirk. It's a different Kirk.
Yes, Kirk is a different one.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me see here.
So they were all gonna be Kirks, kind of like all goats are Howards, I guess. But then
Kirk is the Twillet Kargarok that hits you before Zelda.
yeah, it's the
Named
one in the
Zaf
like.
2013.
Yeah, Kirk is the one.
Too. We're Kyle and Catherine. I'm not seeing this on the little guy spreadsheet, Newix. We're going out of expectation here.
I think all their names start with K because there's another one called Kevin.
Yeah.
I am
That much
seeing
is
the
true.
Catherine. Catherine is the Zora's River Kargarok, apparently.
Oh, yeah, I see Catherine. Where's Kyle? Kyle is the Bombhouse Skip Karg.
Oh, that
Okay.
yeah, that one deserves a name. I have the Precious Booty Jump card listed as Kevin on the spreadsheet, but maybe some days he goes by Kevin, other days he goes by Kyle. Yeah, I guess we should probably say, is it Precious Booty Jump? It's like the treasure chest in like Kakariko or whatever that you would use like a Cucco or something to get over to. Is that one?
Yes, that is Precious Booty Jump. Now, I would prefer if it be explained with ER.
That's right.
Its voice.
It's part of Pirate RTA.
ER. It's be part of Pirate RTA.
That's right.
RTA, if you will. Where we do a pilfering jump to my precious booty.
Chris is having a little trouble with Stupid Room, but seems to have survived without falling down. At least on that last bit that I saw.
Yar, it appears that Orcrist is also getting his precious booty. It be a small key. Alright, this voice is done.
Yeah. What percentage of the chests in Palace of Twilight are small keys, by the way? It's gotta be like over
Percentage
half.
of them?
It's gotta be
I
over
don't know
half.
the percentage of them, but I know there's 7 of them.
This has gotta be like half the chests.
That's a really good question.
I know there's a handful in like the East Wing. There's like a bunch of chests, so like it's probably not more than half, but like around there, I would guess.
Alright, I'm going to the Zelda Dungeon Palace of Twilight walkthrough, so hold on. Why does the Palace of Twilight walkthrough start in Star 2? What?
Because. Would you want like a separate section on the route for just Star 2?
I would... Not as part of the Palace of Twilight subsection.
Yeah, well, because you don't do like hardly anything right between. Wait, is it? Does GameCube do Cave of Ordeals before or after Palace?
In Hundo?
In Hundo.
It's after Palace. At least any route that I've been aware of. I don't know if it's still that way, but I don't see why it would.
Yeah, so you don't do hardly anything between City in the Sky and Palace of Twilight. So you'd have your like a whole separate section for like getting a hidden skill and then doing Star 2 or something. Which, I mean, you know, Star 2 is very important, so obviously should have its own section.
This walkthrough is really bad for knowing what the items could be.
7
okay,
out of 17 is what John is saying in chat.
7 out of 17. Thank you. Hey, it's John.
That's a pretty high percentage. Not quite half.
It's
Anyway.
higher than you would expect. Does that 17 include the one that's the big key? So does that
Yeah, I
make
wonder-
8 of 17 are keys?
Yeah. I don't know. And then if you count all the other keys, then there are really a lot of keys in the dungeon.
What are the other keys?
the keys.
Oh, the keys. I was like, what other keys are you getting in Palace?
They're like, you got the small keys and you got the big key and then you got the medium keys.
Yeah. Oh, true. Anyway,
Why
Xanth
not
phase.
doing Zant? Yeah, this is another thing that you need water bombs for.
Yeah, so we're swimming with water bombs. This is the other thing that we do to skip the Zora armor. It's the same thing that we did for Morpheal, but quite a bit easier, because there's no eel swimming around. You know that eels
Just a Zant.
fishes
You said eels are fishes?
are not fishes?
Well, they're not fishes.
No.
So Morpheal isn't a... Ether... Interesting. Okay. Well, so the thing that Ethernet's disk is known for, I believe, did not happen because of pausing or something. Interesting. He got kicked off the back of Argorok.
Actually, I have Googled this. Eels are fish. I have been lied to, and I confidently said a lie.
How could you?
They're anguilliforms.
So Morpheal is a fish then. So the disk reader for Ethernet, for some reason, is like very broken, and so occasionally he can get this like Argorok death cutscene to be completely skipped, which is obviously not allowed. But I guess he has a workaround so that it doesn't actually happen by pausing or something, because he definitely fell off the back of Argorok. It didn't skip the cutscene.
Bro needs to get a new disc. It's his disc reader. That doesn't invalidate the idea of changing the disc reader. If anything, it's cheaper to replace the disc reader. That said, Cactus Melon is going into the Argorok fight.
Yeah, because among other things, I suspect that like having a bad disc reader probably means that your loads are really slow. Even if it also theoretically saves you time. I mean, it invalidates the run, as TGG is saying. Theoretically, it would save time to like get the cutscene skip, I guess. But anyway.
Anyway, Wynots is now exiting Palace of Twilight and is on the way to Zelda, Hyrule Castle. Now, an interesting thing that is possible, I will not say likely, is that I do see... Oh no, this is a comparison to the latest. Wynots is not comparing to their PB.
Yeah, no.
They may just beat their latest. I see. Never mind. I take that back.
Yeah,
I was going to say that they could get a PB, but no. I do not believe so.
Definitely not. I mean, it's like, what is it, like 17-ish minutes from the end of Palace to the end or something like that, optimally? Or somewhere in that range, I guess. So, why not looking at, like, 247 or 248 pace, I think, somewhere in there. It's definitely comfortable stuff, 250 range.
Absolutely. Their PB is a 244. 244.18. Did you know that there are 18 sub 250s currently?
That is way too many. I remember when there were only like 10 sub 3s. Back in my day, This is way before I had sub 3. I think when I got sub 3 there were like 30-ish, somewhere in there. I don't even know how many there are now. There's got to be like over 50.
Yes, 18. The 19th place on the SD leaderboards. That's assuming that there's not one that's unsubmitted. Yours is unsubmitted, so you would be the 19th then, TGD. Which would mean that the next sub 250 would be the 20th sub 250.
Y'all are all crazy. That is insane. Wow.
Anyway, Orchrist is in the second half of the palace, which we've basically not talked about at all. Here's the outside room, because we have nothing else to call it other than the outside room. It's a room that's outside. This is also where the boss key is, so we could call it the boss key room, but I've never called it that.
Does nobody call it, like, the waterfall room?
You can do that too. It's not a waterfall, it's a toilet curtain.
Okay. You're gonna push up your nerd glasses on your nose there.
Oh, I absolutely could. I even have, like, it's not a pair of, like, fake glasses, but it's not prescription either. They're, like, blue light glasses, and they look like stereotypical nerd glasses. Just, actually, that is a toilet curtain. Yep. Orchrist is parting the toilet curtain to claw shot through it, and is going to,
yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, just to stay on this topic briefly, like, do you call it the Twilight Curtain or Twillet Curtain claw shot? Is that what you call it? I thought everybody calls it Waterfall claw shot.
I call it early BK.
Early? Oh, man. You could get it even earlier if you do it before the Xanthead starts spawning in. Anyway.
Which is also a bad name, because it's not early, I'm just realizing that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's on-time BK.
Why not just using extra bombs here, just for the hell of it, honestly.
Yeah, they don't need them.
That's true. I guess that does make it more, because it's also just randomly dropping a bomb. Okay. Why not? I guess that makes... Does that make the door opening cutscene faster or something?
Sorry, I missed... What makes the door opening cutscene faster?
Well, why not just, like, pull the bomb right before opening the door?
Probably to put away the sword.
Oh, yeah, no, that's right.
Frames.
Yeah,
as long as
totally
they
right.
drop the... Or he's memeing. If there was an actual reason... Oh, he did the thing.
Look at that.
And is doing the one cycle. And missed the one cycle.
Oh, King Bulblin 4 doesn't tornado when you do that on, when you fail the one cycle on GameCube?
Nope. He does an attack. Well, I guess the tornado is also an attack. He does like a lash, I guess.
So I guess it's only after the second one where you, like, do a bunch of attacks that he does the tornado?
I would assume so, yeah. I don't think I've ever seen King Bulblin be allowed to do 2 attacks. The only way that I've... Or since my casual playthrough, of course. The only ways that I'm familiar with King Bulblin 4 is any 1 cycle or 2 cycle.
Yeah, well, that's because y'all are spoiled with the multi-hits.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah, on HD, we have to, like, do extra cycles, but anyway.
The other thing that I'm used to is the ball and chain stun lock to beat him in 94 hits.
That is a lot of hits.
Yeah, but it stun locks, so...
He's a very beefy boy. Also, Cactus, like...
Attempted to claw shot instead of jump attack, I think.
Yeah, unfortunately missed the bridge, so that's kind of slow. But wisely remembers that he can teleport from the ledge. I would have, if I were in that situation, I'm going to be honest, I would have been an idiot and, like, gone all the way back up to the bridge. And I'm like, I can't warp until I got on the bridge.
This is like, the bridge that warps to Palace. I must use this bridge.
I need to be on the bridge to warp. That's what my brain was thinking of, like, oh, he's going to have to get all the way back up on the bridge. It's like, nope.
What's with Why Not's saves being empty again several times when we've seen him save and quit? So what Why Not's is doing is using multiple memory cards and swapping the memory cards each time, which saves a little bit of time on each save warp because it, 1, makes you not have to, like, scroll around if you need to swap your saves around, and 2, it makes you not have to overwrite. It saves, I don't know, very little time.
Yeah, also, like, when do you change the memory card? It's just, like, during a random loading zone while the game is running
Yeah,
or something? Okay,
exactly.
interesting.
I mean, can you name a spot where you save warp instantly after having save warped again?
Yeah, I was just trying to walk it through in my head. I guess you don't need the memory card in at all times, so you can, like, even while you're playing
No,
the game, you can pull it out.
absolutely not.
Interesting. Well, there you go. But yeah, it saves time. It's cool. Ooh, doing the bomb cook strat for the... it didn't work, but...
Oh. Oh! Oh, wait, I thought that was the last bomb.
Good thing Why Not's had those extra bombs.
Oh, did you know that the Atom glitch here was also answered as a mystery by the fact that it's a displacement flip? The one on that gate there?
I did see that a while ago when that happened, yeah.
That is a neat, long-time TP mystery having been solved.
How old is that clip where Adam got that Dynalphos to fall out of bounds?
Oh, it's really old. Hold on. I can answer that. I want to say it's like 2012.
I didn't think it was quite that old. So I thought it happened while I was, like, around, but...
Let's see here.
But yeah, 2012 is a long time. Good grief.
$2018.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah. There you go. It's in chat now. Yeah. I wonder how many people remember, like, all the old heads that used to be around that don't really run the game anymore. It's been so long.
It's been so long that I'm an old head at this point. It's been 6 years.
Yeah. Well, so, because I was checking, because I was curious about this, if anybody had done all 5 Wolfdashes. The answer is no, and Maddie told me that while I was looking through, but I saw it's like, I'm pretty sure it's like either one or like nobody that did Wolfdash 1 is running in Wolfdash 5. It's like very, very few.
Nimzo isn't doing it, and I believe that Nimzo would be the only one who reasonably would have been in all of them, because I know Nimzo was in 3 and 4.
Yeah, so Fino would have been in 4, but Fino dropped out of this one. Because I'm afraid I think Fino skipped like Wolfdash 4, but was in the first one.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was not around long enough to be around for the first one, so it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I believe that Nimzo was. I know that Nimzo won Wolfdash 2. Won Wolfdash 2, or like very nearly didn't, and that's why he got the disc that he has. Where Wolfdash 3 and 4, I'm certain he was in, so I'm only like 80% that he was in 1, but no, he didn't take part in 5. He is busy doing Nimzo things. Does anybody know what Nimzo's up to? Nimzo was not in 1. Thank you for confirming. What do we have here? Zelu and Fino reasonably could have. Chaco? Interesting. Demon appears to have won it.
Wolfdash 1?
Yeah, I'm looking. The thing that was linked by Badamja in the chat is the leaderboard, or the bracket for Wolfdash 1.
Yeah.
Orcrist had Zant, Dai, Onyo, Pipo Sad, where Why Nots is on their way into the Zelda fight. Please don't crash.
Everybody predict the number of cycles for Zelda.
Alright, everybody start counting.
7, with 1 triangle.
I'm guessing 8, with also 1 triangle.
Bold. That's very few triangles for an 8. Let's see.
That's true.
Okay, not a 7. So maybe you'll be right. Let's see.
If I win, do I get ice cream?
Sure. But you'll have to buy it yourself.
Yeah, that is the expectation.
Just in stupid. Oh, there's an explanation of Subaru right there. There you go. Cactus getting owned by the medium keys.
3. Medium keys. It talks to ghosts. Okay, Why Nots is still on pace for an 8 cycle. It's currently at 4. The cycle 4, the second ball just hit, and there has been no... Now there has been one triangle.
Okay, you might be right on the money. Just get a couple of dashes and then a
2 dashes and then a ball would do it.
Yeah.
Oh! I thought that was hanging for too long.
Yeah?
Okay. One more dash.
Ah. You were so close.
Well, we don't know quite yet that it's going to be an 8.
Oh, it's going to be an 8, definitely. 100%. There you go.
Yeah, there's an 8.
see
So
the future.
close.
That's why I guessed completely wrong. Yeah, when was Wolfdash 1?
According to this, 2016.
Okay, yeah, that is 4 hours
January of 2016.
Whew. That's before HD even came out.
How many balls for Why Nots? It was 3 balls.
Yeah, I predict that the rest of the runners will have exactly 3 lightning balls, assuming they don't screw them up.
It was 2 triangles, TG. 8 cycle, 2 triangle. It feels super weird calling them triangles, because I always call them Doritos.
I guess they are Doritos.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Doritos chip. You remember when Twitch tried to propose that they would get a new Pog, and then the reaction to that was we're picking Doritos chip instead?
Well, because they did, like, the lizard Komodo or whatever PogChamp.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I mean, it is still an emote, right? That
Komodo hype or whatever, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and well, it's, like, literally the PogChamp emote. Like, if you type in PogChamp, right, yeah. So people just didn't like it, and they're like, Doritos chip. Okay. Alright, fair enough. Let's see if Why Nots can do a good horseback here. This looks like the good pattern. I mean, I'm sure people have different opinions on what the good pattern is. This is what I consider the good pattern.
The good pattern is one that I can successfully do without falling over.
Yeah. Pretty much everything except that was like weird. That was I don't think Ganondorf normally turns there, but okay. Interesting. Yeah, there's like 3 patterns if you go to the left at the start. There's like 3 patterns. The good pattern, which is the one that we just got, was like it's the most likely one. And then there's another one that's like, you know, relatively likely, but is kind of hard, I think. And then there's another one that's like really unlikely and that you won't have practiced because it never happens until it does.
Yeah, the D cycle or whatever. Because there's like only so many that can happen. I think I remember seeing at one point on ZSR they were called A, B, C, and D.
I didn't know there were 4.
Maybe that's sure there are more.
Okay. Well, because I know some people go to the right. The video that I learned it from was going to the left. And we have the most difficult final boss fight in all of Zelda history right here.
Mm-hmm. A Dark Nut.
Oh! Look at that. See, it took more than 13 seconds.
True. 2:47:41. It was a late split. Yeah. 43, but it was a 41.
Indeed.
Oh, split properly in race time. Good job.
Are we sure it
GG.
wasn't a 42? Because, like, that would be a great palindrome.
That would be. Unfortunately, ZSR bot says 41. GG to Why Nots, though. That was a
GG.
fantastic run for a race run. Very well done.
Yeah, so that's true. So we do have that matchup set for Why Nots. He's gonna face off against Badamja in the either first or second round of the main bracket.
That is interesting.
Yeah, and I think it is actually no, maybe it is the second round. Because like some people get a bye. Yeah, so it's technically the second round. But the second round is when most people are going to be playing their first match.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that is like a totally insane first or second round matchup, though.
Yeah, that is going to be an interesting one, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, both runners have a sub 245 PB.
Yeah, that's one that we would expect much later in the tournament.
Yeah. But honestly, I mean, if you look at like all the runners in the runners page, like there's so many people in this tournament with really good times. So we should have like a lot of really awesome matchups, even in the earlier rounds. It's pretty crazy.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, not to toot my own horn a little bit, but like even later today during our pool, there's going to be an interesting race because Basil and I are separated by 2 spaces on the leaderboard, and somehow we're in the same pool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that itself is theoretically going to be a good race within that pool race.
For sure.
And if you would like to bring out your GameCube, you could also join us.
I don't think that I can, among other things. I'm pretty sure, like, once you sign up, you can't change versions. Like, that was part of the deal. Also, I, like, have not played GameCube in forever, and the camera is backwards, so I would, like, play terribly. So...
That is correct.
Also, you gotta show off the HD version. It's super awesome.
True. We'll get 2 showcases of the HD version today. First from Bean Cellar, which is capable of being put back up now that Why Nots has finished. Whenever. And secondarily, Why Nots, having finished their run, if you'd like to join us for a little post-game interview, you are free to do so. It is not required, of course.
Yeah, maybe we'll get to see where Bean is at some point. I don't have his pulled up. I don't think he's back on the restream yet, but... probably will be up pretty soon.
Alright, I see Bean Cellar coming back in.
He's in
Hello,
reverse
Bean Cellar.
stupid room.
Welcome to Reverse Stupid Room. Not nearly as stupid as Forward Stupid Room.
Yeah. Actually, that's very interesting. Bean is like only a handful of minutes behind Cactus right now.
Yeah, there is a decent spacing between Cactus, Ether, and Bean Cellar, but theoretically something happens. They're all relatively close.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm guessing that Bean's probably like about 4 minutes behind, which is interesting. So, We'll see.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, Ethernet should be pretty much in the clear at this point. I mean, anything can happen, but he did get past the Morpheal phase, which is like the last thing that could have gone like really, really badly.
Yeah, that's true enough. Meltdowns
other
in
than getting-
Hyrule aren't impossible, but
Yeah, like you could get a Zelda crash. You'd have to go for it though, which is not advisable.
Ether, I do not recommend you go for Zelda Crash. That said, I can't stop you. Why Nots will not be doing the interview? Okay, thank you. Well, I hope that Why Nots has a wonderful night. GG again on the race. It was a fantastic display.
Trying to do a little mental math here. So we're at like roughly 254 in, and let's see, there's probably like another 10 minutes in this segment for Bean, and then like 17 after that, so 27. I think Bean is on PB pace.
Oh, wait, that's really cool.
I can't quite tell. He also
Bean.
preferably doesn't die here. But yeah, I mean, I don't. His splits are not on screen because of how the screen needs to be formatted. But I would imagine he's probably on PB pace.
Nice.
Because I think he's almost 4 minutes ahead. Okay, there you go. So we can confirm. That's awesome. Yeah, because I think his PB is
really
like
awesome.
a 327. So he's on
If
good
he's-
pace to beat that.
Has there been a PB so far in the tournament? Other than the people who were establishing their first PB, I suppose? Not to invalidate
Yeah, let me check. There's
a few. That's awesome.
there's been 4 PBs in the tournament according to Maddie's website, but I don't know how many of those were like against a pre-existing PB.
Oh. Wait, Orchrist is in Zelda. Was that one? I was busy looking at statistics.
I was not looking. I was also busy looking at statistics.
Okay. Yep, that was definitely one then. So that's 3. Only one of those, Cloddink, was the first run. Nice!
Cool.
That...
Lots of PBs.
Okay, I hope I wasn't the only one watching Bean's screen. That Cargarok, the... Shadow Beast just walked off the edge.
There's a famous clip of that. on GameCube, though. I believe it's on toearn.com.
It's awesome.
But he really needed to check in on that Shadow Beast this morning. He was not feeling well. Anyway. Yeah, I guess Bean got the big key before getting the going out to kill the Sandhead, so that's interesting.
Yes.
It's a little slower, but definitely a lot more consistent.
Orchrist is having a Zelda of all time right now.
Have you been counting? I've been looking at Bean's
No,
screen.
I'm just uncomfortable by how long I've heard Zelda's music
No, I mean
for.
it definitely feels long. Hopefully this is the third lightning bolt. Okay, thank God.
There we go.
So, just an update. Bean is one room behind Cactus. It's a fairly long room, but it's still one room.
We are in the pool stage of the tournament, Miss AJ. So that is the very first beginning sets of the tournament, where we're establishing the two brackets, first the main bracket and the secondary bracket, where we will have all of the individual matches go on from there. So if this is your first time catching it, it's because there's only been a couple so far. You have not missed much.
I appreciated Bean hitting both of the Xanthead eyeballs there with the claw shot.
Yeah, that was funny. Doing a little LJA over to the other platform. The L in LJA there stands for little.
Speaking of interesting things, by the
Ether
way,
is doing the Moon Boots ending blow version of the...
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You got it. So this should work. There you go.
Neat.
Yeah. I wonder what Bean is going to do, because on HD, you can kind of just LJA onto the hedge. It's precise, but I don't know if he's going to go for it or not.
You can also do it on SD.
I think the setup is a little different. I think it's somewhat easier on HD, although...
I would believe that, because sword clanking can definitely mess with that quite a bit.
Yeah, because you can just, like, target the wall of a specific part of the hedge, and it just works.
Yeah, on SD, it's a lot more normalized of a setup.
Yeah, you gotta, like, aim up in the sky or something, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I think
Not
Bean
knowing
is
the
gonna
barriers.
just do the barrier. Well, that still raises the question, like, which way of doing the barrier? Because there's a bunch. There's, like, tons of ways of doing it. We'll see.
Orcrist is wrapping up and in the horseback phase of Ganondorf.
Orcrist also got the good, what did I say it was? The good route, I guess? Or
That was an interesting pattern, yeah.
Yeah.
But nice and easy.
Yeah. Whew! Cactus was really cutting it close there with the air. Oh my. Yeah, thankfully, if you game over in this part of the Xant fight, because you drown, you just spawn back into this room. So as long as you have enough water bombs, it's not a huge deal. Just waste a little time. So Bean and Cactus are like 1.5, maybe closer to 2 Xant phases apart.
Mm-hmm. So we're seeing a very nice conclusion to this race with Bean being on PB pace. And honestly,
Really?
just a good showing from all runners, you know?
Yeah, I really thought that Bean got that 2-framer, but he didn't.
And Orcrist wrapping up here with the lantern and the iron boots. True
Very
showman.
nice.
GG.
Still missing the magic armor, though.
Yeah, he did not have the magic armor. That is true, I guess.
So it doesn't count. You gotta do it all over again. Good job, Orcrist. GG. Yeah, not quite a sub 3, but still pretty good.
Yeah, still a very solid show. Second place in this bracket, or in this pool, I should say. Moving on to Ethernet being our current leader of those who are left. And Orcrist, if you would like to join us for an interview, you are free to do so. It's not required, of course.
Hello.
Hello. Hi there.
GG, Orcrist.
Thank you. That was a run.
It certainly was. Orcrist, all of the wonderful viewers at home are wondering one burning, dying question. Do you eat?
Mm-hmm. Ever? Yes,
Yeah.
sometimes.
Well, you were wondering
There
if
you
you
have it,
photosynthesized. This came up in the context of what your favorite ice cream was.
Yeah, do you photosynthesize?
Yes, I do. The secret's out. This is how
The
I get my
secret
nutrients.
come out.
Yep. I didn't think it would be here, but it's here that everyone gets to know this.
So, no matter how you feel about that run, you did finish in second. So you do move on to the main bracket.
Yeah, I didn't have the stream up. It looks like Ethernet Boy's internet crashed, and we were basically synced or so at that time. Like maybe he was a bit ahead of me or something.
So Ethernet's internet did crash, but from my perspective, the time that happened, both before and after, were on Pogate clip. So I
Okay.
assume the thing in between was just Pogate clip.
Oh, okay. Okay. I wasn't sure what happened, like if he had to put down his controller and figure out what's going on with the internet or something.
I'm unsure on to do that or not.
Okay, that sucks.
It does suck.
How about that Morpheal? Oh boy.
Your Morpheal was something. Have you seen that before on that animation sync that you had in the first phase?
I have.
A couple of times.
Yeah. I got it I don't know, a couple months ago or something, and was like, hey, weird thing. And everyone's like, yeah, it's very known, which is very typical of TP. You're like, whoa, look at this crazy thing. And like 6 people like, yeah, I've had that happen. I'm glad I didn't die, but the time loss essentially equated it to a death, so it was weird.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that yes, while you're not wrong in that statement, it was a very good display of both your ability to play the game, right? Because you didn't get grabbed or anything, you knew how to respond to that situation, and you were very patient with everything, which is very difficult to do in any situation, let alone something like a race.
Yeah, and it'll come down to that sometimes. But I don't want it to happen to me. I'd rather just play the game normally and speedrun and stuff. But that was kind of the turning point where I've been having things that were weird, stuff mistakes that I never make, and then that was kind of like, okay, this is just a bad run. Let's just forget about having a nice mid 250 or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of where I lie with a lot of the race settings, at least mentally, is once I accept it's a run that I'm not a fan of, I start to see myself play a lot better because I'm just not worried about it anymore.
Right. It's all good, though.
Yeah, you did great. Do we know who Orcos will be against in the main bracket?
No, I don't think we know yet. Because let's see, Pool 6 number 2 will face somebody from one of the last chance brackets, I think.
Where are you even seeing this?
This is on Maddie's website. So I assume that the bracket on Maddie's website is accurate. That's where I got that Why Nots was going to play Bedanja.
I see.
Yeah, look what TGD pointed out. They are very synced right now.
It is accurate. Yes. Which is a very fun thing. We've had multiple people being synced at different points. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, actually, I think that Bean is catching up a lot on... He's overtaking Cactus now. I think a lot of that was just on loads between Palace and Hyrule Castle, actually.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Also, am I tripping? But Bean's doing Wii, right?
Bean is doing HD.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Because they did
HD is quite a disadvantage too.
He did an LJA, and I thought I saw the Wii HUD open. I was like, hold on, how did you do it? Never mind.
We discovered boomerang LJAs on the Wii version today.
It only works on the bridge entering Hyrule Castle. Just there.
That's right. Exactly. You've got it. Let's see here.
And it looks like Wynots or Yanots, or however you say his name, did pretty well.
Yeah, I've been going with Wynots. I'm not sure if that's correct or not.
I had asked how to pronounce their name, and they didn't respond earlier. It was in the race time channel, so I don't expect people to read that, but we've just been going with Wynots as a result.
Fair enough.
Nobody has corrected us so far.
E-knots.
E-knots. Oh no.
E-knots.
I guess that would. They are French, so I guess that would hold up.
Yeah, you gotta drag out the E, according to TGD.
That's
Four
awful.
whole
That's
E's.
almost the worst possible choice. Only almost.
Jinx.
And this is pool 6.
6, yeah.
Okay. I'm just now finally. I'm a little bit behind, so yeah. LCA number 2. Last chance A number 2. That is who you will be facing.
Yeah, and
Last
so
chance
you
A
won't
number
know
2.
for a while.
Oh,
yeah,
goody.
So you have to wait for all of the pools and the last chance, and then you can do your match. And then the winner of that race is against TGD.
Okay.
How many are running in HD? There are 2 who are running in HD in this tournament overall. Bean Seller, who's on screen right now, is one of them, and Jaquade, who's in the call with us, is the second.
Didn't Jim do that in? Didn't Jim do that in the qualifier as well, or am I wrong?
No, I think he ran GameCube. He was just rusty.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But he has derusted quite a bit since. So I think like yesterday he may have gotten like a close to a sub 3, but not quite sub 3.
Fair enough.
He had a, I believe, 20-minute Stallard skip or something.
That'll do. Yeah.
Yeah. Oof.
Mine was. I'm still not very solid on Stallard skip yet. And the first attempt where I was trying to do the turnaround and he was turning to the left somehow, I have no clue how I was doing that, and I did it twice in a row. Could be like my controller or something that I was doing weird, but I have no clue how I made Link turn around to the left.
I wasn't fully paying attention during your Stallard skip.
That's fair.
But Link turning around to the left just means that you're not aligned with the horizontal. That's the cue that I use, is swapping from left to right when it's the first right turnaround. That tells me that I'm at the cardinal angle.
Okay. Yeah, I could have just had a bad angle because I did get hit by a little spinny dude thing, so maybe I just didn't get back to cardinal. Maybe that was it.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Okay.
We have Ethernet in horseback right now, also getting a very normal pattern. We haven't seen anything wild in horseback yet, and that's itself wild. But the real race at this point is Bean Seller and Cactus. Bean Seller's actually on a heavy PB pace.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Beanseller had a bad first barrier in Hyrule. That's why he was ahead. He's a little bit behind now, but still, like, I mean, they're literally in the same room now, so crazy.
Yeah, and the loads, the HD, I think someone in the chat had mentioned earlier, the loads are going to be very starkly different, and that may be the deciding factor. Of course, Zelda is also a large deciding factor here, but...
Yeah, well, and the route differences. But
off the top of your head, do you know what Why Not's Zelda cycle was?
It was an 8 cycle with 2 triangles.
Two
we were counting those.
Okay. Okay. A little better than an 11.
Yes.
Yeah, we weren't counting during yours, but we could tell it was long.
I missed the start of yours, and I kind of just had the audio on and went, this is lasting way too long.
Yeah.
I lost only a minute, so I guess it was kind of a fast 11, but still, it's pretty, costly.
Oh, Ether
GG.
with a 3, 12, 19. GG.
GG. So Ethernet will move on to the last chance bracket.
And since I'm not so confident with Stallard skip, I was kind of monitoring the stream to see like how close we were. So I was like, okay, well, if we're synced, he's going to go for it too. So I think I have to.
Mm-hmm. At
But
that
I
point,
was
there
kind
was
of
a
preparing to
decent
just
separation.
yeah, I was preparing to just not just for safety because if things were spaced out the way you think they would be, it wouldn't matter as much. But I was put under a little pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. That is definitely a very solid way to go with Stallard Skip, is monitoring how other people are doing. That's something that I'll
Mhm.
probably apply myself later.
Yeah.
Ether, if you would also like to join us, you can come on into the waiting room. That is not a requirement by any means, just an open invitation if you so choose. But GG on your run. We get to see the wrap-up between Cactus and Beanseller. What is Beanseller's PB, Jaquaid?
I think it's a 327.
Okay.
So I don't.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's what he had on his splits the last time he was streaming. That's what his PB is on the leaderboard. So I don't know if he like privately has a better PB than that or something, but I'm pretty sure it's a 327. Yeah, okay.
He's been
just
hiding.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
he's hiding a 327.49. I can tell.
He could be hiding a 308. You don't know. He's smurfing or something. It's possible. Anyway, 327 is the official answer. All right.
All right. Well, Cactus is in the. They're both in the Giga Friends cutscene. Cactus is trailing by just a little bit, and I am still fully convinced that this is loads. Because Bean has slowly been overtaking Cactus. Not to say that there isn't a skill element going into it, I've just seen good gameplay from both of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's slightly different strats that they've had to do in Hyrule Castle. I mean, I think for the most part, GameCube can go faster in Hyrule Castle. I mean, other than the loads, because, GameCube still has bombs, which allows for certain strats that HD has to, like, do something slower for.
Absolutely. But Bean does have that lead currently. Hardware or emulator, it is the
Hardware.
HD version versus the GameCube version. They are both on hardware.
Yeah, I think so. Isn't emulator is allowed, but only if you don't have the hardware. But I think that like everybody in the tournament has hardware, right?
I don't know of any emulator runners actually.
What's his name? Dave? Am I making that name up?
Dave?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he is on. Yeah, hey, it's John. I'm sorry, not Dave.
John.
Hey, it's John. Hey, it's John. It's John is on emulator for sure.
Yeah, so there's a few people, but I think like the way it was explained to me, at least, was like you can only do emulator if you don't have console, and most people have console. So
hey, it's Dave. So yeah, now you've got me saying Dave. Yeah, Dave, Randy, and Harold are all on emus. The birds.
oh my god, they're just riding around.
All right,
on the
Bean.
emus.
I'm gonna count Bean's Zelda cycles. Not Geraldine's. Beans.
Geraldine,
ridiculous.
the famous beagle.
1.
Right. Starting off with a lightning ball.
And some brake sliding.
Some very nice brake sliding, in fact. That's a very nice extended brake slide.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, a triangle. Gotta shake his head at the triangle. SMH.
Yeah, the logo of Wolfdash 5 is Dave riding in on his emu.
Yes.
Bean on pace for a 7 cycle. There's a lunge. Cactus going into Zelda. Okay, one more attack before... Okay, Cactus immediately only capable of an 8.
Yeah, triangle for Cactus. Also, Cactus needs to grab one of the hearts in the pots. Thank you, Cactus.
Okay. Bean, are you going to get the only 7 of this race? Actually, wait, what was Ether's? I wasn't counting.
I don't
Bean
remember.
got a 7.
GG Bean on the 7.
That's
just
fantastic
all skill.
for being on PB
all
pace.
skill that cost you to get that 7. Ether apparently.
Ether and
also
Bean
got
both got 7s. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh. Bean, you turned the wrong way. Does he remember how to recover from this?
I don't know.
Let's see. So Beast
There are
Cannon
multiple
thankfully
ways.
is not... Yeah, if Beast Cannon doesn't go through the portal, then you can do it this way.
Okay. So he
At
was
least.
aware of one of the ways.
Yeah.
How does that
Yeah,
work?
I don't remember. Huh?
How does that work? Like getting him to not portal?
So I don't think that you can control it, right? But if he doesn't portal, then you can just like throw the ball and chain again. I forget if he portals if it works or not, but
Okay.
I believe it does work similarly, but you just align him in the same way that you would work for the second phase where you line up to make sure that he's positioned in a specific spot.
oh, interesting.
You know how you can control where he spawns. I guess that's less of a thing in any percent than it is other categories, where you align where he spawns down with the bow and arrow, or for the bow and arrow. But nicely done, Bean. You have your emails waiting for you.
I haven't been counting for Cactus, but I believe that's a third.
That was the end of it.
So the Bean has a healthy lead. It's about a minute gap.
One entire cycle of the final fight that's actively happening.
Okay, Bean also got the good pattern, although he missed the shot. Or Zelda missed the shot. It's totally not controllable. Definitely.
Come on, Zelda. What are you doing?
Aim.
I know she's been unconscious for hours or days, but I mean, pull it together.
Yeah, exactly. You should be able to aim perfectly immediately. Shoot perfectly at a moving target on a moving horse.
Yes.
Yes, it's
Isn't
simple.
that how you wake up?
Yes, that's what I do. First thing when I wake up in the morning, get the blood flowing. I ride around on horseback behind somebody else and then shoot at Ganondorf. That's what I do.
Yeah, this is why I have a horse bed, a horse-shaped bed.
Yeah, like some people do coffee. I do, horseback Ganon in real life. So I wake up.
I want a coffee mug that says, "No one talk to me until I've had my horseback Ganon fight."
We need to make that a thing.
Oh, there are plenty of websites that you can make these things yourself.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
And get it printed for you.
Okay.
The
Is
second
Bean
place in the redemption bracket gets that mug.
Oh,
Dude, you should have done the chance.
You should have done the chance!
Come on, Bean. What are you doing? You gotta get the quick spins.
Yep, jump attacks going through Ganon's heart.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
GG.
All right, GG Bean.
It's a 5.5 minute PB.
Sick. That's another PB in the tournament, right? Someone else has done it,
Yep.
I think.
Yeah, we looked at it earlier. There have been 4 so far. That makes the 5th.
Oh boy, I think I under-predicted. I don't even know what I selected, but it wasn't that high. Oops.
Yeah. I also wasn't sure if it's like each individual PB that counts or each person that PBs at some point in the tournament race. But we'll see. But usually there are a pretty good number of PBs. So.
Bean does in fact get that 4th place position. if Bean would like to join us for some post-match commentary, he's more than welcome to. Now that said, this was Pool 6. That's a confirmation of that number. Pool 6, 4th position, will be against... I can't read.
So...
Oh, the 5th place position of... Or sorry.
Fourth
place.
So, yeah. So Pool 6, number 4 gets a bye, and then plays number 4 out of Pool 4.
Where Pool 6, number 5 goes against Pool 7, number 5.
Yeah, in a first
Instead
round.
of getting a
so
bye.
they don't get a bye. Right, yeah.
Yep.
And then, yeah.
I'm still not quite sure how this last chance stuff is going to work because I see A and B.
Yeah, so my understanding is that they have 2 last chance pools, and the top 2 out of each last chance pool go to the main bracket, and the bottom 2 out of each last chance pool go to the redemption bracket.
I see. Yep. Yeah, actually, there is a description of that on the seeding phase, and you are correct.
Yeah, and like Madame just says, like, if you tried to schedule 8 people into one race, it would be very, very difficult.
Yes, it would be. Hello, Bean! GG! Also, G Cactus, who ended at that point, 3:24.16. Bean,
Or anyone.
GG on your PB.
1 second.
Hold.
I'm holding.
What am I supposed to be holding?
Little baby chick.
Out for a
Baby
hero,
chick.
baby.
I have a Wolflink amiibo. I'm gonna hold the Wolflink amiibo.
That works.
I too shall hold the Wolflink amiibo.
GG.
Yeah,
Thank you.
GG's.
GG all.
That was a fantastic race. Cactus, if you would also like to join us, you are more than welcome to. It is not required, of course, but...
Oh yeah, GG Cactus as well.
Bean, how do you feel about your PB?
I feel really happy.
Nice.
PB by 5 minutes 43 seconds, which is kind of crazy.
Sweet.
Yeah, I wasn't... I mean, I'll be honest, I was very much expecting to get last, given that I'm playing on HD, and I'm not the greatest runner of all time. But yeah,
Well, you did fantastic. We enjoyed thoroughly.
thank you.
Yeah, that's quite a
Yeah,
good time
I
for a
also-
race time for HD, honhonestly.
Isn't HD
Yeah,
world
really.
record isn't HD world record still a 31x or something?
No, it's a
309.
309.
309. Okay.
I think
Still,
Actually,
So-
Jim may
Yeah.
have beaten that again, and it's just not an SRC. I think it.
so.
Okay.
So
Maybe
Jim
like
has
a
2
307.
unsubmitted PBs. I
Yeah.
think he has a 307.59, if memory serves,
That sounds.
and he also
correct.
has an unsubmitted 308.
okay.
I don't know when he's going to submit them, because
Yeah,
they
so I
happened
have
like
it-
several months ago now. But
On the ZSR record history page, I have it listed as a 307.59. It means it just hasn't been like submitted or accepted on SRC yet.
yeah, no, he hasn't
GG.
submitted them.
Yeah. GG's Cactus. Hello, hello.
GG
Hello, G-
Cactus.
GG.
So how do you feel about the match?
I'm happy that I finished the run though. I guess.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I was so tilted in the first place, but then I realized I was like, okay, just a race, calm down. And then yeah, a few mistakes, the big mistakes. So yeah, next time will be better.
Absolutely. So actually, your next race will be in the redemption bracket, which will be against the 5th place position of Pool 7, which has Pool 7 happened yet? I don't believe so, but there's a lot happening today.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet. That might be one of the
Hasn't
ones next week. Let me check real quick. So, because the other 2 that are happening today are 4 and 2, so a lot of even numbers today. But I think there are a couple
Cool.
happening next weekend. or
Pool
around.
7 is next Saturday.
Mhm.
And that will be next Saturday's race. It will be you, Cactus, versus the 5th place between Morpha, Dean Machine, Midnolin, Little Tuffy, and Cloddink.
Damn.
So that would be an interesting one to see.
True.
And Bean, you get a bye round for the first round of your brackets as a result of getting the 4th place.
Cool.
Who did the one bomb thing?
The one bomb was Ether. Ether
Damn.
got 3rd place, and as a result will be in the last chance pool. This was pool 6, which means that it will be last chance B, which is Madeline, Ethernet Boys, and then the other 2 races that are happening today. So then 3rd place out of Jaquaid in my bracket, as well as the one that's currently ongoing, which is Zach, Jim, Eshesedam, Herbex, and Prince.
Oh, yeah, by the way, thank you very much, Jaquaid and Glubbers, for commentating our pool,
Yeah, thank you.
despite the
Yeah, no
fact that you have a race later. That's
Yeah,
that's
thanks,
very
guys.
cool of you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
We needed something to take our minds off of the impending race.
Yes.
Yeah, and now
Yeah.
we get to go practice for a little bit and
Yep.
eat food.
Good luck on the runs.
Thanks.
Thank you. You guys did fantastic.
Thank you.
It was very fun to watch. All right. Well, does anybody have any last minute things that they would wish to discuss?
Nope.
I'm
I don't
good.
think so.
All right.
I need to go sleep.
Prez? Oh, Cactus? All right, Trez, handing it back to you whenever you're ready.
Alrighty then. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you had a blast with this pool race. Big shout outs to all runners and of course to Glubbers and Jaquaid for comps. Depending on how everything turns out, we're gonna have one more pool race later in around 3.5 hours, which would be the Jamal pool, which comes from TGD and Claude Inc. Keep you posted on that. And until then, thank you all so much for watching. Have a nice evening and nice rest of your Sunday, and see you soon.